What do you think the hardest part, your hardest moment, like in Cali, what was that for you?
At a very young age, I saw somebody get their head blown off. One of my cousins cleaned his wound, the bullet went through his leg. So one of the times that I overheard somebody was respectful and said, nah, look, the kid is here, don't sell drugs.
Do you think that's why you failed first grade?
Got bullied in first grade for not knowing how to read.
You say you lost everything. What does that mean?
So I lost the money, I
You
lost the
lost your
houses, I lost the cars. I had to call to come and repo the car. Last check flew in 21 days. I lost everything. Told you something this week, and I'm like, people do not appreciate you for what you do. My daughter has to go to the hospital or something, and they didn't want to let me go. It's scary to say that I have to sacrifice more of what I'm chasing right now. This is difficult to say when you say it out loud, but gotta do better. I found out that I'm losing my vision on my left eye. That day, I walked outside and I cried, and I didn't know who to call. So I gotta go to Colombia and do surgery.
Hey everyone, David Adam Kurz here. And if you're watching this, I want to thank you for being a part of Forged into Man. You know, a lot of people that watch this show aren't subscribed yet, and your support truly matters. When you subscribe, like, and share these conversations, it helps us bring more powerful stories to the table, create more episodes, and keep the movement going. So if this conversation has impacted you, hit that subscribe button. It helps us more than you know. Thank you so much. Now let's get back to the show. Welcome to Forged into Man, the place where real men tell the truth about their fires and what shaped them, the pressure that forged them, and the purpose that walked into because of it. Our mission is simple: to redefine masculinity through accountability, responsibility, and growth. To remind men that strength isn't soft and weakness isn't permanent. And to show every man watching that you are not broken, you are simply unfinished. Our motto: pain reveals you, pressure builds you, purpose defines you. Today, I'm sitting with a man whose story stretches across two countries, two childhoods, and more fires than most people will face in a lifetime. A street raised kid from Cali, Colombia, who learned everything he needed to know early on how to adapt, how to lead, and how to connect. And most importantly, how to survive. A man who lost everything in 2008 and rebuilt himself brick by brick. A man who went from failing early to becoming number one in multiple industries. A man forged by work, responsibility, fatherhood, and faith. He describes himself as a bold professional committed to empowering families, elevating professionals, and guiding people to build real estate with confidence and purpose. Today, we welcome William Ledesma. Will, I'm honored to have you on the show, first of all, as our very first guest today. So thank you very much for being a part of the show.
Thank you for having me, man. I'm very honored.
Are you excited?
I'm excited and I'm nervous. It's a lot of pressure.
That's awesome,
Be
man.
the first.
I mean, listen, I want you to, I want you to be as relaxed as possible. And honestly, like, our belief with this show is that if we are as expressive and if we are as honest as we need to be, then we get to forge the next man. We get to change the path for the next man. Because as people listen to this, they might be going through some of the fires that you're going to talk about. And we want to show them that there's something on the other side of that fire, right? There's something waiting for them. And what's waiting for them typically is significantly better than the fire they're sitting in right now, you know? So let's get into your fire right away. I've got my notes here, and I really want to dig into it. But first, you talked about the fact that you were born in White Plains, New York, but you really grew up in Cali.
Yeah.
Talk to me about who the young Will in Cali, Colombia was.
So, I mean, my family moved to Colombia to, I guess, live a better life. They came, they raised money, and they basically moved. For me, it was a challenge because number one, Spanish wasn't my primary language. I was already having issues with reading. But honestly, I think I was a good-looking kid, so it wasn't that bad to be in Colombia at that time. I was like in first grade. But the difficulties and challenges was adapting to a new community, and having zero new friends and things like that, and starting from scratch.
Yeah. So, what would you say are some of the things you had to really learn early on to adapt to that environment?
Um, Number one was I kind of was on my own every day I left the house, and I didn't have no friends. So number one was to make friends. So I can tell you actually, just thinking about it, walking to school the first day, and I couldn't speak English, Spanish too well, and I just kind of sat in a corner and started drawing. I was drawing Ninja Turtles, and there was an opportunity. I call it not an opportunity, where somebody gave me a comment on my drawing, and I took it and I made my first friend. Right? It wasn't like, oh, whatever. Like I was so eager to make a friend that I was like, oh yeah, cool. You want me to make you one too? That was my first reaction, and like actually, you brought that to light thinking about that, and I was like, it was the first thing, how to connect with other people, right?
Yeah.
Um, and then the second was that um, I had to trust, kind of like I was in a new world, a new community, like I had to kind of trust that people were willing to help me, which I think a lot of people are very jaded on that.
But when you say that you looked at this first opportunity, at that time, did you think of it as an opportunity? Like that's something you think and know now,
As I look back,
right? But at that time, what was that feeling? What was that like?
I was nervous. I was thinking about this, and I can't tell you exactly what I was feeling, but as I recall it, I was nervous. I was kind of scared, like I walked into this little building. Everybody was super nice, but the kids all looked at me weird, like if I was
Right.
an alien or
Like
something.
who's this guy? Right.
Yeah, they've known each other it was first grade, but most of these kids grew up in the same neighborhoods
Grew
and
up,
same
yeah.
things. Yeah, so I was the new kid.
That's interesting. You know, when you're the new kid anywhere, it's difficult. You know, but when you're the new kid in a new country, I can't imagine what that's like.
Look, honestly, as I recall it wasn't as bad. I think that at the moment it was really bad.
Yeah.
At the moment it was probably something but now my view from it now, I'm like, man, it was a blessing to.
But don't you feel like that's how we typically feel about everything bad we're going through?
Yeah,
Like every stage in life, which we're going to talk about several stages that you went through, but like when you're in it, you just feel like it's the absolute worst thing in the world.
it's the end of the world in that moment.
Yeah. And then when you come out the other side, you say, well, it wasn't that bad, right?
Yeah.
But, I had to do A, B, and C to get out of it, right?
Yeah, man. I'll tell you, I'm not trying to get ahead and maybe leak into other parts of what's going on, but one of the things is the culture clash, right? The culture clash from being over here, everybody's so stuck up, they don't want to do certain things, and then you get to this country where, hey, welcome to our thing. Well, you have to learn how to dance cumbia in front of a show of whatever, and I'm like, oh, what is this? I've never danced. And you're dancing folkloric music and stuff like that, and the drums, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And then we go to nationals. First grade. My first year. I'm not even in the country, I think like 6 or 8 months, and I'm already
Dancing
in the
in nationals.
downtown on a stage. Oh, by the way, the day of the thing, my partner, which was like the girl helping me, was sick. So I had to dance by myself. There's so many fears that happen and in front of hundreds of people as a kid. I just remember that. That was, yeah.
That's hilarious. Like, as you begin to talk about these things, you remember, like, the little things that
Yeah.
don't always come top of mind, right?
Yeah.
So you had this partner, she gets sick. So now you're, like, legit 6 months in the country. You're in nationals, and you're on stage fake dancing with a ghost? Like,
No, I was dancing
like,
there. I had to do my routine because it was basically two. So if you know anything on cumbia, you got to do the little dances.
Yeah.
You're dancing around the girl, and
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
no girl to dance
There's no
around.
girl there. Yes.
We did good. We did really good. But my point of that is that it was something that, number one, I had never even thought of, never experienced. Even as a kid, they threw something on me that I had never even seen. And we did good. I did very well, so they kept me on the show, right? And that was like a step up that you had to come on. As a kid, you don't see it as a big challenge, but I was very scared.
Yeah, I can imagine. So at the time, you're growing up around a lot of different types of people.
Yeah.
Hustlers, but priests, teachers, business owners, like a full spectrum of humanity, right?
Yeah.
How did you shape the ability that you have to connect with all of these different types of people.
So like that whole connection thing in Colombia, people don't treat kids as much, right? Like they treat you as a responsible adult. And if you portray yourself, like the perception people have of you has a lot of value. Over here, it's kind of like you're a kid, right? I mean, every now and then, but over there, like there's something called, not called, I'll explain what it is. It's store credit, right? So you have credit in little stores. These little people that have a store out of their house, you would go over there and say, hey, let me get this, just put it on my tab, right?
Right.
Well, kids don't have that. I always had that in every store that I went to, whether I went to a new neighborhood or not. Not because I knew who I was. It was just I always came in and I would establish a rapport with that person. I would always come and buy the same things. I would always say hi to the, like my parents taught me manners in a way that was respectable. And I would say, hey, yes, ma'am, no, sir, what's your name, da, da, da. And I would always do that. And I didn't even know what I was doing. It was just something. And then second thing is confidence. Since the first time I had a relationship with a store owner, my first one, I was so confident. I didn't know that a kid wasn't supposed to have a tab. Do you know how that works? You know,
Right,
you walk
right,
into a
right.
place and you're so confident. All right, can you open up a tab for me? Cool. I got you tomorrow, right? And the second part is the responsibility to come in tomorrow and take care of it.
Yeah.
And it was crazy because I started this at I don't even know what, like 7, 8 years old. Like I was a
But-
kid.
But your parents kind of taught that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Your parents are responsible for you being that type of.
I credit my mom for that.
Okay.
My mom brought me to the corner store. Well, my grandma brought me there, but my mom was like, it's okay, put him whatever. He's responsible, but I just didn't know it any other way.
Right.
Like that was my bottom line.
Right. Right.
And I know it doesn't seem like much, but it was a big deal because
That's huge, 'cause that
none of my
grows
friends
with
were. They'll all be like, my father can't even get a tab here, and I'm like, second time I ever been to the store. You know, like that was but because I expected nothing less.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Right.
And that opened up a world that, like I said, I dealt with business owners, right, from a very young age, and they respected me, right? There was restaurants on the corner, the movie theater. We used to have like our own little blockbusters. Little houses had their own little blockbusters. We had, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but we had a soccer tournament. I don't play soccer. I wasn't good at playing soccer. I was just a big kid. And my friends were like, oh, man, I don't know. We want to do this, but we need uniforms. We did this. I said, okay, cool. We'll figure it out. And I went to the priest, and the priest said, look, man, you need 5,000 pesos, 5,000 pesos to sign up for the team, but we're about to run out. I'm like, no, I'll get you the 5,000 pesos. You just sign me up, and I'll bring it back to you. He said, okay, cool. I came to the priest, boom. And I told the priest, I'm like, I have no idea what to do next, so can you help me? He's like, yeah, man. He was like, look, you need a uniform? I'm like, where am I going to get a uniform? So he was like, look, man, you could talk to local businesses or whatever. So I went to the businesses. I want to say I was 8, 9 years old. And I went to the businesses, hey, how you doing? We already had tabs. And I'm like, hey, look, we're doing this soccer thing, and we're trying to find sponsors, and everybody sponsors for the team. We didn't get nobody sponsors, but one of the stores said, hey, you know what? We sponsored a team a couple years back. Maybe those uniforms will fit you. So we got the uniforms.
Nice.
You know, so
okay. So it's still a win.
it was still a win.
Yeah.
But the resources that I learned from connecting with business owners, respecting like other people's things,
So-
and
Let's talk about that for a minute, because those types of skills, right? You know, you say you credit your mom for, giving you the bottom line of the tab, right? But did anybody really sit there to teach you that sort of hustle? Or would you say that was more intuitive? It just kind of came to, because some people, when they talk about it intuitively, like kind of like it just happened. Or some people say, no, my dad taught me like how to, make these things happen.
so as I was trying to look at this, kind of preparing for this story wasn't even there, but I could tell you where it comes from. It's a combination of things. Number one, my mom taught me to dream big and to set bars high. So what I expect of myself, like I just walk into play expecting certain things, and things just kind of happen when other people are like, oh, I never thought to even ask for that, right? I have less issues with asking people for things, right? With my father taught me a very important lesson as I was hanging out with bad influences and friends and things, and especially coming, where he was like, you don't have to make the same mistakes they do. Learn from their mistakes. So at a very young age, I was watching people and learning as I watched people from things that they did or didn't do, what worked and didn't work. And that was my father teaching me and kind of pointing out, like you see that. So it wasn't like the skill of somebody taught me how to do certain things. It was more the skill of watching people and learning.
So it was a mix of being intuitive plus, like your father certainly pointing out certain things.
Like teaching me how to like
Pay
see
attention
things.
and
Yeah.
hustle it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty solid. You said that you, and we might be jumping ahead on this,
Yeah, that's
but
fine.
like you said that you hung out with some unsavory characters. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, so just to give you the context of like the image of where it was, right? I lived 4 blocks between my school and my house. It was 4 blocks, right? Small blocks in Colombia, small block. Between that block, we have the soccer courts, and right in the middle. And then right next to the soccer courts is a church, right? So I pass by the soccer courts every day to go to school. And that's where the people that sold drugs, the people that did it, that's where they hung out. You got me? And so if you didn't want to get bullied, you didn't want to get robbed, you didn't want to get hurt,
You made friends with
you
them.
made friends with them, right? And just like in any neighborhood, like we had block wars, the next block hated us and things like that. And you had to step your ground, you either got beat up, but if you ran away, then it was a bigger issue. So I was walking to school every single day since first grade.
Yeah.
No, that was second grade. I would walk to school on my own. And in a not so good neighborhood, and so you make these friends. People would vouch for you, like the store owners would say, hey, that kid is good or whatever. So the combination of who you acted and the image you gave other people made other people approach you in a different manner. So one of the times that I overheard somebody was respectful and said, nah, look, the kid is here, don't sell drugs. And I was like, that just happened? And then I started catching that people respect me at a different level they expected some of my friends. And I thought it was maybe because of my family or my friends or my uncle. And then I started learning it was because I was very involved. Like I was at the park with the soccer thing. I was at the church with the priest. I was I was always there, and I guess I made myself popular, I guess,
Yeah.
in like the hood.
Yeah.
And I just made the right connections, and I was friends with them. I'll tell you one story that also comes to mind. One of the crackheads or whatever that I became friends with them, and I felt bad for him. So I was like, "Oh, come to the store." I bought him. We eat bread and Coke all the time. I was buying him bread and Coke, and I was hanging out with him. And my mom was like, "Dude, that's not a."
It's not a thing.
Yeah, it's not a thing. Like the kid wasn't that much older than me. He was maybe like 5 years older, but he was older than me. And I was like, it's cool, man, and then I think one of my uncles was like, oh, it's cool, at least like we know who he is, like whatever. The guy robbed me, right? He was like, oh, I need to go somewhere. I was like, yeah, take the bike. And he never brought it back, disappeared, right? And everybody was so pissed and everybody was so hurt. And I'm like, he probably needed it more than I did.
Yeah.
I was fine with it, right? One thing is that I didn't know the value of money that much. So to me, it was like my parents.
So you
like,
weren't that
you.
upset about it? Cause...
Exactly. And the second thing is that was a lesson that I was learning where in front of everybody, it didn't bother me, but I'm like, yeah, I need to not trust people that much. Right. That was like one of my first lessons of me.
Right.
Because again, I told you, when I first I had to learn to trust strangers. And as I'm evolving a couple years later, I'm like, oh, hold up. I got to now get at a different level. So
interesting how we put up walls in certain times, certain periods of our lives based on experiences that we have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But my point is I made that good connection so I could basically hang out anywhere.
So you came back to the United States 12 years old.
So a step back. I actually moved to New York for like half a year in third grade.
Okay.
And I didn't even write about that, but it was very challenging to come. But then I realized how much more advanced I was. So I came in third grade. They wanted to raise me to fourth grade.
Wow.
They wanted to promote me to fourth grade. My mom said no. First day in school, I get into a fight. I get bullied. And I'm like, I'm not stepping down because I came from Colombia with my big glasses, my tight clothes, and people weren't dressing like that.
Yeah.
So I got bullied. I got into a fight with 3 kids because I defended myself. I made friends from like older grades. It was a short 6 months that I was like, man, like this country's crazy. I thought Colombia was,
you think Colombia's nuts, and now you come back here and you're like, whoa, wait a minute. And you're back in New York, back in White
I went
Plains.
to New York. No, we were they were in Queens.
Okay.
It was like just half the year. We just did half the school year, and then I moved back to Colombia.
Why was that?
Just my mom. She wanted to try to move to New York, and I followed her, and just going with the flow.
Okay.
But then I came back.
What do you think? What do you think the hardest part? Your hardest moment, like in Cali, what was that for you?
My hardest moment. Look, I will tell you that at the moment, some of the hardest moments, I didn't think they were hard. And I'm going to tell you what it is, but I want to make sure to set that off. At a very young age, I saw somebody get their head blown off, like standing 2 feet in front of me,
Wow.
right? And at the moment, I didn't even appreciate how scary that was, right? Like now, I think about it, but I wasn't even traumatized. I was like, oh shit, that's it, right? I saw people. I saw people get shot in the leg. I would help one of my cousins like clean his wound. The bullet went through his leg. That was like normal, right? It wasn't normal. I didn't know it wasn't normal. How do you? I don't know how to say
Yeah,
that.
like you were around it so much that it didn't seem like
It
there
didn't
was
happen all the
something
time.
else, like there was another world.
It didn't happen all the time, but people talked about it like it was normal. That I didn't know how to react. You get
Right.
me? Like I see this in movies, and they're like, "Oh, I'm traumatized," and I'm like, "Yeah,
Right.
not a big deal, right?"
Right.
I lost countless relatives every year. It wasn't like people lose a relative every 10 years. I was like, no, like every single year somebody's dying. I have a huge family though.
Yeah.
So when I was there, the biggest challenges was my family. My family didn't have an expectation of like who I was gonna be that much, like that young. It was more like, look, you got to pick up girls, right? Like my family's very good looking. I consider myself the worst looking person in that family, and I had to step up my game,
Yeah.
and so I did. And then the second part was my parents being divorced and having to battle between both of them.
When did they divorce?
Very young age, I think I was like 6 years old.
Is that why your mom tried to come back?
No, they had already. So when they were separating, had this thing that they would like basically my mom would come to the U.S. They lived in one house, but they would not be in the same time at the same place.
Ah, all right.
But then when she moved, I don't know exactly when she moved out after a time on her own. Then she decided yeah, we moved with my aunt, and then she decided to try New York with a boyfriend or something she had or whatever, and that's it. I mean, we went back, and then I went to Colombia till I was like 12 years old.
Okay. So now you leave the United States, you go to Colombia, you have to like acclimate to Colombia, you learn Spanish. Now you're hanging
I
out with
learned-
everybody. You know the priests, you know the clergymen, you know all the soccer players, all the drug dealers, like
No.
the teachers, like it's that kind of neighborhood, right?
And I got more for that. Like, the school would let me to school to do parties. I was cool with the school owners. Like, they loved me. So I'm like, oh, when you're gonna raise some money, and I'm in elementary school, and I'm throwing parties, minitecas, is what we called them, and they wouldn't trust nobody else to do that, and they would trust me. Like, how do you do that? I'm like, oh, we'll do it, and then we're like, I have my family bring their equipment and whatever. I got my uncle a job as a coach at the school for 1 year. Like it was like you were connected. Like I could have lived my whole life there and been fine, right?
Yeah. You think you would have been better staying there
No,
than you are today?
I know I wouldn't have. I chose. So the reason we came to the U.S. was because I kept telling my father that as I was thinking about what I was going to do as an adult, I was seeing my aunt who was very successful and other people, and I asked them questions like, how much you make, what do you do, whatever. And I'm like, dude, there's no growth in Colombia. You're going to get to a certain point, that's how you're going to be. Yeah. And I was like, I can't accept that. Like, I don't know. I don't know exactly, but I'm like, no, I want more.
And this is at 12 years old?
This is, yeah, like right before 12.
So now you're 12. You come back to the United States. What was that culture shock like?
So it was cool because I came just for a summer. I have a lot of cousins, so we came just to have fun,
Okay.
And we came for the summer, and then at the end of the summer, my mom, my aunts, my tia Gloria, and my father, I guess, talked about me staying because I always said, I'm like, I don't see my future in Colombia. Like, I want to be here. And the day I was flying out, they told me, no, drop your bags. You're not going anywhere. And I was like, what?
Huh.
And like very last minute, I had to enroll in the school and things like that. The culture shock didn't come that summer. It came when I went to school.
Okay. Because in the summer you're with your cousins,
Your cousin
you're hanging
vacation,
out,
yeah.
you're having a good time, you're on vacation mode.
Yeah.
And then, but all of a sudden now it's like real life kicks in. Now you got to do like the school day and everything else. And
Yeah. That was number one. Even though people spoke Spanish, they wouldn't talk to you in Spanish.
right.
Right. Everybody spoke to me in English.
So how was your English? Because
So my English accent was really good, but I didn't speak it as fast.
okay,
Well, I did speak fast because I naturally speak very fast.
right,
My accent was good. I just didn't know all the words, the lingo, the current
Okay. the current talk of
the streets or whatever, right?
yeah.
And growing up in Colombia, we knew a lot about like salsa, maybe reggaeton back in the day before it was really popular.
Before it was popular.
But we didn't know. My cousins were like very into hip hop, Biggie, and stuff like that.
right,
So
right.
I kind of had to have like a crash course on that. And then a lot of friends that my cousins had that I met were the same. They liked the same music. They were the same things. But the biggest thing is my insecurities, right? I walked into a school. Obviously, as a kid, I saw pretty girls. I saw all these things. And I was this kid looking very, I want to say the word reffy.
Yeah.
Like, I had one pair of sneakers that was okay.
Yeah, you just didn't fit into the.
I didn't fit into like that. But I was always really good at making friends. So I made friends with my cousin's friends, and I made some of my own friends. And in the classes, I made friends with people that had their similar last name because they were citizen row.
Yeah.
And I figured it out, but that was very scary at first. And I felt very insecure about like what I wore. And then in my mind, all these kids have big houses, and I would live in somebody's garage, you know?
Yeah.
Like I was the poor kid, and you know, like that's how I thought that first year.
Was there an advantage to being back in the United States? Like, would you say like something that you picked up right away that you said, okay, like, listen, I get it. You know, I'm not fitting in quite yet, but I see the advantage.
So, as far as what I told you, that I saw that was like the ceiling was too low in
Right,
Colombia.
right.
The moment I got here, I was like, dude, this is in like unlimited. You know, like there's so much space for me to grow, right? So yes, I felt that. When I got to the school, as far as an advantage from what I learned in Colombia, is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Once I got over my initial insecurities, which was very quick, it was like after the first 30 days.
Okay.
Again, in Colombia, you're more mature. Adults treat you like they'll treat you like an adult if you act like it. So I was always banking on that. Second thing is, even though I was always fat, I was very athletic. I was into sports, but I was just naturally good at running, bike, whatever. So that's I leveraged all of that to be able to make friends, get more popular, and connect with more people, right? And same thing, I wasn't scared of talking to girls, which at that age, most kids were still kind of like, oh, not even thinking about it. And I was like, well, you like her? Let's go talk to her. I'll put you on, you know? But look, I rode a bike every single day of my life when I was in Colombia. And I would drive from one city to another. Like, we went far.
Yeah.
So when I was riding bike here, I could have somebody on my handlebars, and I drive as fast as everybody else. So that allowed me to fit in, even though I didn't have my own bike. I'm like, oh, I'll take my cousin, I'll take him there, and I'll still be able to hang out with everybody else, right? Playing basketball, these kids over here are huge. So
Yeah.
being like the little Hispanic kids, whatever, I'll play against everybody and, you know, put my body into it. And then I would make friends because they would be like, oh, that was a good one or whatever. I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I just kind of piggybacked on that and just...
Okay. At 14 years old, because, you know, I'm listening to you say that you were ahead on life because you had the way that you were treated in Colombia and the lessons that you learned and the things you paid attention to pushed you ahead in life. But academically was a little bit of a different story. So, like, who are you at 14 years old? What do you think that you knew at 14 that other kids didn't know? I don't want to say kids today because I feel like kids today don't know anything, right? But, like, that's just an inside thing for me. But back then, 14-year-olds were different than they are today. So at that time, when you looked at your peers, because you also said, I made friends with older kids, right? And there's a reason behind that. When you looked at your peers at 14 years old, what did you feel that you knew that they didn't know? What was your biggest advantage?
I think that my biggest advantage was that I didn't care about the stupid things they cared about. Like I cared about different things. So, like at 14, I was already working. I was doing like finding little jobs. Like I would go do moving with my father. I would do little things to kind of get it. Like I wanted a car, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay, maybe I can't like just get it because my father's rich. So I'm like, how do I get a car, right? So the way I asked for a car was, hey, what do we work out to get a car, father, right? Like that was the conversation. And yes, I did get the car. My father did give it to me. But I think it's also in the way that you negotiate and you ask for things, right? Second thing was people, and I don't know if this is still the case, but people are always that use this word like I don't care, right? Like you're always saying I don't care, but you really do care. So a lot of kids would get caught and use the I don't care thing, doing stupid things, and I was thinking differently. I'm like, why even get caught in the first place? You know?
Yeah.
Or why even do it in the first place? So I was already thinking about things like that.
Mm-hmm.
When kids are still weren't thinking the same way, right? I did make friends with older people, and they got me into more trouble, and things that I was just learning in, right?
They're taking you into the unknowns.
Into the unknown. So at
Yeah.
14, I was going to these Colombian clubs. I was partying already,
Yeah.
and they wouldn't even ID me because I looked a little bit older, and I would go with a bunch of girls, like my sister's friends and things like that. And then at the same time, I learned about going to the Mix, which was like another like after hours club, and I was like 14, 15 years old. Like, what kids doing that? You know, like
Yeah.
God forbid my kids hear this and they're like, oh, well, you no, like
Yeah.
it was a
No,
different
no.
world, right?
And they will use it against you.
Yeah. But it was like another world. Like I remember, yes, I remember, okay, walking to Celebration, the Colombian place, that was different. That was okay because at least it was adults. But it was outside. You got to the parking lot and there was like, people fighting. It was dangerous, and it was like in Okeechobee, it was far as hell.
Yeah.
But going into the Mix was like walking into a movie set, smoky, loudspeakers, house music, people doing all sorts of crazy things, right?
Drugs are heavily involved.
Drugs are heavily involved, and I'm 14. I was turning 15, but I wasn't 15 yet. And the funny thing is, I saw two other kids from my school too, and that's why I make friends with them. I'm like, I know who you are.
I know
and
you.
and we became friends, right? But those are things.
You don't rat on me, I won't rat on you.
Yeah, those are things that I'm like, dude, think about it. Like, you're 14 and you're going to these places and you're getting into spaces you shouldn't even be in.
Yeah.
That opened up my doors a lot. 'Cause I still do business with a lot of people that I met, club
that
promoting
time
and
frame,
things like
that's so
that. Like,
wild.
so it's just different. Like, I didn't care about the things during the day. Like, we went to school and they talked about these little other things that I didn't care. Like, I still don't. I'm sorry, I don't watch sports on a regular basis. Like, all those little things that everybody was distracted on a regular basis, I wasn't. I was there. I was present. Yo, you want to play football? We'll play football. But I wasn't like, oh, we got to watch football on Sunday. I was already like, oh, no, how are we going to the next club? And doing, like, and then I had to go get some money. And, father, what can I do? And then I would go clean the school. I was cleaning the school. I was a janitor, too, like,
Trying to get money.
trying to get money.
Why was that important to you at that time?
Because if I wanted to live a life with my older friends, I had to be able to afford to pay my
To
own
hang
thing,
out. Yeah.
We had another thing that happened that I guess kind of pushes in that way. My mom came back in the picture. So when I moved here with my aunt, it was just me and my aunt. My father left his life in Colombia to come support me and moved in with me, and we moved into the garage. But then my mom decides she wants to come also over here, and I kind of chose to go with my mom. And then she chose to go to New York, and then I stayed with just me and my sister, right?
Okay.
She would support us. She would still come in here, but it was me and my sister. So I was kind of more on my own at that moment. And so that gave me a lot of freedom to do things, but at the same time, I couldn't ask somebody for money, like, all the time,
Right.
Like, my father was like, oh, you want food? You come get it at my apartment, but I'm not paying you, like.
Yeah, I'm not sending you money.
So you have to basically earn a living, pay for gas, do all these things. And so at a very young age, I already had, like, a need to pay bills, a need to support certain things,
How old were you when your parents got divorced?
I think I was 6. I'm not like legally divorced and separated were two different things for me. So I don't know when they actually got legally divorced, but
But they got separated when you were early on.
yeah.
Do you think that's why you failed first grade?
No.
No?
I think I was looking at it back the other day, and I think I had some type of ADHD or some type of like reading
And
disorder.
what did that do for you? Like confidence wise? Like,
So
What do you think happened? And
I
a lot of people don't remember these things, so I'm asking you like some pretty
one of
long
the things
time ago
that
questions.
one of the things that I do remember is that I got bullied in first grade for not knowing how to read. I remember the kid's name and everything. It was Robert,
Oh,
and I don't know why I never forget that, but
I hope he
it
watches this.
it affected my confidence, right?
Yeah.
It affected my confidence. I think it was called, was it Stirrup? The middle school's Ruben Derry, right? It was in first grade. I don't know, whatever. It was right here in Fontainebleau. It affected my confidence a lot. Like, I remember I cried on the way home and stuff. And my sister went to the school. I think I even got into a fight with the kid one time. And then on top of that, the fact that I had that, I got sick. And then I had to stay home, and my father would pick up the homework. So I kind of missed out a lot.
Would you have like a flu or something?
I don't remember what I had. So I know one of the accident happens. I got ran over by a car, so I couldn't walk for like I don't know how long. I took the bike. I had an older best friend, and they would hang out by the pool. He lived right in front of me, and I think I went to go hang out with them. And I grabbed my bike and I went, and a car just ran me over in the neighborhood, and my knee hit the windshield, and I couldn't walk for weeks.
Oh, snap.
So I think it might have been that.
Okay.
But yeah, it did affect my confidence. Like.
Your dad was a big part of your life.
Yeah,
I mean, he taught you a lot. It seems like he really taught you a lot.
I think that as I see it now, I really appreciate how much effort he put into making sure I didn't fuck up.
Right.
Yeah.
Wait, so did you understand then what he was trying to teach you? You're seeing, because you just said that, as I'm seeing it now.
Yeah.
And I'm interested to hear that, because like, I think as a parent, you're a parent, I'm a parent. As a parent, you pour into your kids. A lot of times you kind of just sit back and go, you know what? One day it's going to click.
So as I was trying to answer some of your questions before, I actually like started getting misty-eyed and stuff like that because I saw my father doing things I was trying to do to my kids to help them out. And I'm like, man, the sacrifice that he was doing at the moment, the patience he had to not want to choke me at the moments that I was doing the things I was doing. I mean, both my parents were a big influence. I just think that the more obvious ones were my father would sit with me every single day after school for 2 hours, no matter what. And I don't know if you've done that with your kids, but it's such a frustrating activity to know somebody can do something, but they just can't get out of their own head,
Right, right.
And then the second thing was, we didn't talk about this, but when I moved to first grade in Colombia, I had to adapt fast. So my father would make me do all the work twice. He would go to school the year early, like the summer, and get all the books. Hey, tell me what the books I got to buy. And he would buy them twice. So I would do the summer, every single workbook before I even entered the school. And he would do it with me. He would basically teach me before the actual thing. And he hired tutors on top of that to make sure I wouldn't fall behind. I think that's why I don't realize that maybe I did have like a disability because I'm not really good at reading. Ironically, I'm really good at reading comprehension, but I can't read fast. I'm really bad at spelling, right? But he masked it in a way that I'm like, yo, you just got to work harder than everybody else. And he put the effort to make sure to teach me that.
You know, I appreciate that. Like, I'm sure you do. But I appreciate hearing that a father does that, you know. There's a lot of stories of fathers in right? Especially, you know, in our cultures and what we know of our cultures and the men in our cultures. A lot of times parents get separated early on and then dad just disappears. But it sounds like to me that dad was pretty.
Yeah, no, he was.
I mean, wow. 2 hours with you after school, steady focus, pointing things out to you, helping you learn. Like, you know.
Yeah, he was there. And then when my parents got divorced, more officially separated and everything, I know he was always on my mom about it. So I always had a tutor. Like, I always had a tutor. Didn't matter if I was doing good or bad. Like, they were pushing for that. I think I do the same thing where I'm always trying to teach like my kids a lesson or see an opportunity. He did a lot of that. What I didn't appreciate at the moment I was annoyed.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
to be able to talk to my father about like even girls at a young age and liking people and what happens, like to be able to have those conversations was very difficult, but at the moment it was frustrating.
Yeah.
And you don't appreciate it,
No, you don't.
you know?
No.
Look, I think we get successful in life by being unreasonable sometimes. And let me explain what I mean successful. I wanted a motorcycle. I was a kid. Since first grade I always wanted a motorcycle. I've been in love with motorcycles my whole life. And I took advantage of the fact that my parents were divorced and they were battling for my love to get a motorcycle, right? Like
Yeah.
this is an honest truth. Like I took advantage of it because they were kind of battling for my love and
Yeah, you just use childhood manipulation.
yeah.
That's it.
So
All the kids do it.
as an unreasonable person, I wanted a motorcycle. My father went and bought me a motorcycle. This was third grade. I got a motorcycle. And bro, to me it was like, wow. Like now I look back at it, nobody else had a motorcycle. You get me? Like nobody else. Like it was like now after that I started seeing more kids having whatever. But at that moment in time and age to get a little motorcycle, like it was a PW80, it was like a little purple and pink colors on the side, and it was dope, right?
Yeah.
Like this man to do that at the moment, like, yo, my kid could kill himself. Like, but I don't
Yeah.
want to lose him, and to do that, he did that. But he also talked to me a lot about when to use it, when not to use it, what to do, how to be responsible.
Be safe and responsible.
My mom bought me the full like gear, like the metal boots and everything, which I practically never wore. But like, I don't know, man. He was a big part of knowing how to be as a man, how to treat, how to be patient, and I just didn't appreciate it at the moment. I don't think I appreciated any of my parents as a kid.
Where do you think his patience came from?
I mean, my grandma, my grandma is the sweetest person. She's super patient. I don't think like people, like she's a person that you could probably like curse her out and she would still be like, oh, no, no. You know what I'm saying? Like she's super sweet. I don't know. Like my grandfather, that guy was, the little that I knew him, the memories I had of him, he was very strong and silent. So maybe he was patient. I don't know. I really don't know where he got it from.
Where are
Maybe
your
his
mom
love.
and dad today?
My father is still, they're both alive and kicking. My mom lives in Orlando with my sister. My father lives here. He's a janitor for Westminster Christian. He's been there for like 30 years.
Wow.
Well, I don't know the title he has, but that's what he does.
Yeah.
You know?
What's your relationship with him like now?
Good. I mean, I talk to them. I don't think I talk to them as much as I should. I sent them a voicemail this weekend, and I was like, bro, like, thank you, because I don't think I ever said it.
You mentioned that to me.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you about that.
So there are a few things that people notice they want to be grateful for, right? And a couple years back, I was saying thank you to my father because I feel he was unappreciated for some things that he did, and everybody thought I was just drunk because it was Thanksgiving. It just happens to be on Thanksgiving.
So you just remember every Thanksgiving.
So this one happened, but I'm like, I'm sober.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I called and he didn't answer, so I sent him a voice note, and I'm like, look, man, I remember you sitting there doing homework with me. And I know how hard it is because when I do it with my kids, I just want to I want to fight them. Like, I don't know. And I was like, thank you. And I don't think I realized how much value that instilled in me, right?
Yeah.
Like, I probably said more words in the message, but I was like tearing up. I was about to cry, and I was like, damn, this is such a realization at the age of 42, I think I am right now, like to realize that and be like, damn, like I'm such an ungrateful kid to both my parents, like,
Yeah.
and my grandparents. I don't think I'm a good son. I think I'm a good person, but I don't think I'm like good enough. Like,
That's interesting.
Yeah.
What would make you a better son? By the way, have they ever expressed to you that you're not a good son?
no,
So it makes you feel like you're a bad son.
I think that again, as I realize certain things, I'm like, bro, like, why don't I say thank you enough? Why don't I support enough? Why don't I reach out enough? You know, like, I think there's a battle between being a man and being a father, and then battling with being a son, and then being an entrepreneur. Like, yeah, I can make the excuses, but I'll get into the definition of a man, what it is for me later, which is not making excuses. Um, I can make all the excuses I want in the world, but the truth is that I just don't do it. You know?
Do you think that, and I ask you this because you're a son, but you're also a parent. And I mean, and the question's twofold, and it leads somewhere, I promise.
Yeah.
Right? Like, do you think that it's necessary to say thank you to your parents? And part two of that is, do you expect thank yous from your children?
I do not think it's necessary to say thank you to your parents, and I don't think it's necessary for my kids to say thank you. I think that we each know that certain reactions are triggered by certain actions, right? And what I'm thinking is maybe not a thank you, but a hug. You know, maybe an I love you, maybe just a phone call. Hey, how are you doing? Right? That's what I think I don't do enough of. Like it compensates, right? Like if I'm checking up on you, and if I'm like asking about you or whatever, like that's what I'm talking about. Maybe not say, hey, I thank you specifically. I think I
Right.
say thank you because I don't do any enough of the other things.
Right.
That's my easy way out.
Right.
You know?
So you think that the real process should be spending more time with them,
Yeah.
giving dad more hugs
Yeah.
instead of visiting mom more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a sister too, so I've said it to my wife. I don't think I've ever said it to to any of them, but I don't think I really don't think as a son or even as a brother. I mean, this is difficult to say when you say it out loud, but gotta do better.
What do you think would make it better?
It's scary to say that I have to sacrifice more of what I'm chasing right now to be able to do it. Um, I, I have a great partner, my wife, who handles a lot of things that I kind of put on the side. Like I let her deal with the family so I could deal with things that I do at work. But in order for me to kind of do more of that, I have to sacrifice more of what I'm trying to build right now. And maybe I'm making an excuse, or maybe I'm just like, give me a little bit of time, you know. But I've been saying that for years now.
Right.
So
Like you'll get to it. You'll get to it. You'll get
Yeah.
to it. And then getting to it never really shows up.
yeah,
Yeah. It's almost like you have to kind of start setting up a plan. Like, okay, I'm going to go visit mom at this time.
so yes, I do, but my issue is always comes down to convenience, right? And I think that's where I feel selfish, because it shouldn't have to be convenient to do it. It should just be done,
Right.
you know.
Right.
And I always kind of like, oh, we're not gonna be in town that weekend, or we're not gonna be doing this. But I'm like, there should be certain priorities with your siblings, your family, um, where I just do what's easier.
Yeah.
You know, like I have two siblings here through my father's side and one through my mom's side, and I talk more to the one that's closest to me because it's easier. We do more plans together just because it's easier, right?
Right.
But I should, like make more of an effort.
Do you spend a lot of time with your dad? He's local.
No,
No.
no. But it's our schedules, and then he has another family, and like it's all like BS excuses. I think we can do it. It's just
Right. Right.
saying I'm gonna do it and just going through with it, you know.
Yeah.
And I could do it. It's just how to do it consistently.
It's hard when you're building something.
Yeah.
'Cause you sacrifice everybody, not just them, but your own family, right?
That's a big thing. I think that you're saying the right thing. Most of my success, I think a lot of people that call themselves men are selfish and saying, "Well, I did this." No, we did this. Like my family was a part of it. They sacrificed a lot,
Yeah.
you know, for me being
The time with you is the biggest sacrifice.
Yeah. Yeah, the time, the moments. I think that looking back on my childhood and how I did now is where I see, okay, I didn't see those sacrifices as I was living them, as my kids do not see our sacrifices now,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. And you don't want them to see it, right? Like you don't want them to see the sacrifice. But then there's also a small part of you that goes, well, maybe they should because they got to learn that sacrifice is a requirement,
Yeah.
But you also don't want them to see you struggle.
So one of the things that I struggle with as recently. I think I learned a lot from my own patience, my own things as in my relationship with my wife and kids, is battling that. Like, I want to share everything with my wife, but I don't want to share things that, like, I start thinking about what impacts people around me. Like, maybe I want to vent, but that venting is not causing a positive reaction in my household. So maybe I just got to keep it to myself. You get me?
Yeah, I do.
Maybe it's not something that important. It's like,
It's important to you at the moment.
at the moment, but I have to think, is this something that's really important? Like, do I really need to discuss this with her, or is it just me selfishly trying to vent? So then I have to, this is a very like recent, I want to call it maturity level I'm into, where I'm like, no. Why? Because me saying this, it's going to trigger a chain reaction of emotions, events, of things that are going to lead us down a negative path where we don't need to go. Right?
Right.
Where there's money, where there's emotion, or where there's whatever, I kind of have to pick and choose what I'm willing to release and not. Same thing with my kids, right? I want them to learn how difficult it is, but we go back to the store. My bottom line was everybody else's top line. So if I show my kids too much of what it is to struggle and pain, they're going to accept that into their life as their bottom line.
As their bottom line.
And I'd rather
appreciate
them
that.
start up here.
Right.
So there's certain things that I know they need to learn, which I'm still learning to figure that out. And there's certain things that I'm like, I never wanted to know because I never wanted to accept that in their life.
Being a father is not easy.
No.
It's not easy. No. It's a horrible balance. You know, when you talk about whether or not you should vent to your wife, like take that negativity home.
Yeah.
Right. I think a little bit differently. I think, like, who else if not her? Right. That's how I think about it. You know, and I know you have a very strong relationship with your wife.
Let me ask you a question.
But who else if not her?
This is well, we and you see our wives on the same level.
Yeah.
They're partners.
Right.
Right. So I understand that.
Right.
But I'm also trying to understand look, I'm the person that has a solution for everything, right? And I started learning as adulthood comes around that maybe people just want to vent and want to be heard. So I think until certain people around me and my wife and friends and colleagues also start understanding that maybe sometimes what I say is
Just
not for
wanna
you
be
to
heard.
take it. I just want to be heard. It's not for you to do anything with it. Then maybe you can do that, right? But the way I see it is my wife, my partner, takes things very personal when it comes to me, very protective of us and the family. So she wants to do things about it, right? Or like, I'll give you an example.
As a good partner
Yeah.
should.
Let's say David pissed me off today, and I'm like, yo, David's so frustrating. And then the next time she sees you, she's not gonna like you. But I just need to vent, but we're good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
so I don't
But
want to.
she's still not there yet.
I don't want to create that, but it's a normal thing. This is not like I'm not faulting her at all for it.
Right.
What I'm trying to say is I've had to learn what is important, what isn't important. What I think is important is what is my goal.
Right.
So with every conversation, with every decision, it's like I'm a little bit of a I don't know if you call it sociopath or psychopath with this now, where I'm actually like, all right, I was frustrated at this and I want to vent it, but I'm calming myself down not to piss her off about something. I'm like, was that really worth it? No, it wasn't. I forget about it. Move on to the next thing.
Right.
It's like a little.
But let me ask you this. Do you feel like looking at it objectively and saying, this isn't so much of a big deal, forget about it, is really you hiding the fact that you're just compartmentalizing it and putting it away somewhere?
Yeah.
And now you're just stacking a bunch of shit in the back of your head that might come out one day in an explosive kind of way.
Yes and no, because I do talk to my wife a lot. We have good communication.
Yeah.
So I just, like, I talk about important things. So I measure things on importance. And I do look at things as to, okay, am I going to get over this particular situation with this particular person? This particular issue, is it going to happen? Am I not? Whatever. And then I say, okay, this is important. Let's discuss this. What do you think? You know, I'm going through this. What do you think I should do? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I do discuss a lot of these things with her. And I do discuss my business with her. I do discuss, we have a partnership. But I kind of like have to, like, this is a real decision we have to make together. Let's discuss it.
So I've also learned to do the other thing over the years, which is to look at my wife and go, I'm about to tell you something, and I'm not looking for advice. This is listen only mode, right? Like, I want you to take what I'm about to say and it just be me letting go. Because again, if not her, who?
But let me ask you a question.
So, like, we're talking about your relationship with your dad and stuff like that. Are these problems you could take to your dad?
I talk to my father maybe twice a year about my problems.
Right.
And the funny thing is that he listens.
Yeah.
He doesn't talk.
Right. Because his design is man. Right. And then he's also like, since it's only twice a year, probably appreciative of the fact that his son is like leaning on his shoulder for a moment. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll tell you one thing that comes out of those conversations almost every time. Just put your head down and work. And everything works out after that.
Yeah.
So he's like, you're probably going to make the best decision. Just put your head down and keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
No, like, I want to go back to this because I think that I'm still trying to figure it out. I don't have the answer about talking to my wife.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm doing a good job or a great job at communication when it comes to that specific thing. I just know my wife is super expressive. Her face tells it all. So if you tell her something, her face is telling you like. So it's a very powerful thing to be that woman that controls all your emotions. Where if she's upset, I'm upset. If she's hurt, I'm hurt. Mm-hmm. She triggers things in me. So you have to think further than just sharing the information with her. How did you trigger her reaction going to affect you later?
Yeah. But it's something I think that because my wife is similar in a way. She's my partner, right? But if I come to her with first of all, if I come to her with a problem, she wants to fix it, which is odd to me because I'm typically the fixer, right?
But let me ask you, is she going to go fix it herself or she's going to like say
No,
things?
she's like telling me, like, this is what you got to do. She's the fixer. She wants to tell me exactly what needs to happen, when it needs to happen, how it needs to happen, right? Like, and I'm like, dude, I get all that. It's not why I told you. Like, everything you're telling me, I understand. But I just wanted to bitch and moan about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just wanted to grumble and complain. And I don't want to talk to anybody else about it because anybody else would judge me. You shouldn't be judging me, right? Yeah. So I'm telling you, and she wants to go into fixing mode. And so sometimes I just need to look at her and go, babe, I'm downloading to you and you are to do nothing with this information. Yeah. Because I know what I'm going to do next, right? This is a moment where I'm not asking her for advice. Because there are times where I download and I go, hey, I need your advice on something. Give me a different perspective. And then there are times where I come to her with some bullshit and she looks at me right to my face and goes, I can't believe you're upset about that.
No, but let me ask you a question because this is the thing. This is where I think this is one of the things where me and my wife discuss, why do you ask me for advice? And I'm like, because it's not that I'm going to do whatever you tell me. Mm-hmm. I want to hear a different perspective.
I want a third eye view.
Yeah. But it doesn't mean most of the time I'm probably still going to go with what I was thinking, but I want to see the other side. Yeah. And it frustrates her. Like, why tell me if you're not going to take it? But I'm like, it's like playing devil's advocate. Yeah. You know? Yeah. But she's great. She's great. She puts up with my pain in the ass, so.
Yeah. They both do, huh?
Yeah. Look, I've as I get older, I've brought more inside thought into what I do with my actions and things like that.
How long you guys been married?
We've been married 17 years.
Wow, 6, 7 a long time. So she's been with you your entire career and pretty much like.
Yeah, that's.
She's seen you grow.
She is.
Been through the ugly.
Yes. I mean, you want to get into that story. I started the business in 2005. All right, very young, very stupid, very successful, very fast. I was making a lot of money. I'm blowing all of it. Then June 20th, when the Heat won the championship, or June 21st, I meet this beautiful woman at a bar. First time I ever tell a random girl I love her. Not I love her, no, that I would marry her. Joking. I never joke like that. That's never been me. It's never been part of my game. Just joking around. I don't know why it came out. It became true. I meet her. I'm doing very well, but I had just moved to Tampa. So I fly down every single weekend. She had a boyfriend. She was being still not like talking to me as a friend, but nothing. And I'm like, damn, I'll fly down every single weekend from Tampa to kind of hang out with them, do whatever, impress her friends, like whatever the hell I had to do to fucking get her attention. Whatever. Point being is that we get together. After 3 months of like talking, I get engaged. I'm like, like I already know I want to be. I want to marry her.
I'm not missing out on this.
Then I found out that I'm losing my vision on my left eye, and they were like, "Yo, you're losing your eye." And that day, I walked outside and I cried, and I didn't know who to call. I called her. Like, I've barely known this woman maybe 5 months, and I'm already like with a like telling this sad story, right? Like I'm losing my eye. I don't know what to do, whatever. So I got to go to Colombia to do surgery. So then that's like January 2007. January 2007. And I'm like, I'm going to Colombia. You want to come with me? Like, I was scared. I don't want to be alone. And at the same time, this woman who I'm so in love with, who just said yes to marry me, whatever, like, she's like, I can't go. My job, I was like, I don't care. I'll pay for your job. My mom, whatever. Like, she dropped everything and came with me. Crazy. Kids, don't do this. Don't do what she did. So she came to Colombia with me to meet the rest of my family for the first time. I had eye surgery and then came back. And when I get back, my boss tells me, hey, this business is done, bro. Here's your last check.
2008.
2007. This was before that, right before that.
Okay.
He was like, this is your last check. And he was like, but I have an opportunity for you. We're going to move from this and we're going to like building hotels and all these things. I could offer you, I think it was like $150,000 salary. You're going to be traveling in the world. Like, because I was really good at networking. So going to different countries that go like know what the in scene is, connect with everybody, and host our investors every single time. And I'm like, yeah, man, I just got engaged. $150,000 for a 22-year-old, 23-year-old, amazing. Traveling the world, amazing. Going to nightclubs, strip clubs, to meet everybody, to bring investors. I'm like, incredible, but not right now. I'm just not gonna work out for me in the life I'm trying to live right now.
Right.
So then I took my check and I left and I went to work for Frank Cepeda. He's in business still. He had a little company and I started cranking deals there. Started doing really well in 2007. Like people were already scared about the business and we're kicking ass.
Is this mortgages?
Mortgages.
Okay.
We're kicking ass.
Okay.
Then I came like 2008. Every Monday they were shutting down. The banks were shutting down. And we were structuring files every single Monday. But at this moment, we were closing deals in 3 days with Chase. Like, it was crazy. So literally all it took for you to run a DU and you did it. But they didn't let us run DU. It was like our processor. Our processor, she was living the life. There was so many deals that she wouldn't process the deals for 2 weeks. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? 17 deals in the pipeline. Just me by myself. Like, the commissions were really nice. I was used to a really good life. All of a sudden, dried up in like 3 months.
Yeah, fast.
Last check flew in 21 days. Like, we ran through that, being young and experienced. I had like 3 mortgages. I had I lost everything, and we still weren't married, and we're planning our wedding. Then we get pregnant, and we have nothing. My wife doesn't basically want to have a kid out of wedlock, and I understand her. I wanted to get married anyways, but our dream wedding wasn't going to happen. She stuck by me. I called my mom. I called my sister. And I was like, look, man, I got to give this girl her dream wedding. She went on the beach. My sister made some phone calls. We did the whole wedding for like under $5,000 at the beach.
Wow.
Every time I went to buy something for the thing, it's like the last penny I had in my pocket. I went to buy a wedding dress. It was, I think, $547.22. I'm like, that's all I got. Like, so we lived through that. We got married, didn't go to honeymoon. And I'm in build mode. I'm broke. We were for like living this short period of time on limit. Like there was no limits to what we can do. How much money we were making at a very young age, to losing everything. And she was there. She didn't flinch.
But even though she didn't flinch, this had to take an emotional toll on the both of you.
Yeah, I remember her being frustrated one day because she couldn't buy something, she couldn't do something, and then it was like to see that was very it didn't make me feel like a man. It made me feel weak.
As a man, you feel like, how
Yeah.
I'm not providing.
Yeah. So I decided, I'm like, well, what's the next market? Like, what can I make money on? What can I be successful, which is collections. I'm like, well, everybody owes money. Everybody's getting screwed. So there's people collecting everybody. I had collectors up the ass calling me. So then one of my buddies was doing collections. I'm like, bro, get me a job. He was like, I can't. My collection's very serious. You got to go get experience. So fuck it. Let me go. I went, finally in collection jobs. Who would let me in? And even people were my age. They didn't have that like mentality I did, right? So I got a job at a law firm. Two young guys had a law firm of collections, medical collections. I show up, I have a nicer car than everybody else. I walk in, I start doing my phone calls. What do I need to do? Oh, call these people. I wasn't good as them as collecting, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make it. I have kids. I have a wife and a pregnant wife, and I was like, so I get on the phones and I fucked up. Oh, do this. Okay, cool. And then people were like, oh, they're chilling. Oh, who's the top guy? That guy. Okay, cool. I was trying to listen, trying to learn. I couldn't adapt fast enough. I wasn't that good at. I really wasn't.
Yeah.
But I'm like, all right, let me show up a little bit earlier. Try to start calling earlier. Let me stay a little bit later. Let me start calling a little bit more. So then I got into that. But then my wife went from having me all the time, hanging out all the time, to not seeing me at all, not having enough money. And she was there, man. Like she
Did
is.
it take a toll on your relationship at all?
It did.
I mean, you're saying she was there, which obviously she's still there today. That's
No, she didn't flinch, bro. Like, I don't. We had arguments. I can remember like little arguments and fights. We always have.
Do you think it hit you harder than it hit her?
If she did, I didn't see it. Maybe she didn't show it.
Do you feel like maybe you just carried the weight well enough?
At that moment, did because when you're under fire, when you're in the middle of war, to me, that's the way I see it. Like, the adrenaline pushes you, right?
Right.
At that moment, that's the issue. She's really good in the hustle.
But you do realize that not all men operate that way, right?
I expect, like, as a man, like, I think we're gonna get into this further, but my biggest issue is not when we're at war. You want my wife next to you in the trenches always. It's when we get to a point where you can breathe and you're like, okay, things are good, and it's like that's when we've had problems in the past, right? Because like we don't know what to do. Like when we're at war, we know what to do. It's more like when we get to a point where like, hey, everything's good, and then we got to learn how to like kind of reinvent each other because we know those steps. We've been through it over and over again.
Yeah.
Hey, I decided to, like, we lost everything. We went to live at my cousin's house to rent for a little bit. I said, nah, if we want to buy a house, I'm never going to rent. So I was like, let's move in with your mom, which was a very strong personality, like, very difficult person to live with. And I was like, no, we're going to move in with her until we save our money to buy a house. And we did. We made those difficult decisions. And for me to be even around that family, to do I lost everything, I felt very bad. I've been on my own since I was 14, basically.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Even when I lived with my father, I had my own thing. But my point is, to go and to live in a room. We had the baby there, in her mom's house, in my wife's room. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And like, we had the baby living there, so that must have been like, I don't know, difficult for her that we lost everything. But
did you? Because you say you lost everything. When you say you lost everything, what does that mean? Let's talk material first. You definitely lost a ton of money.
So I lost the money. I lost the
your
houses.
homes.
Yeah, I let go of everything.
You had how many homes at
I
the
had
time?
3 apartments in Tampa, 1 in Brickell, and a house in Kendall.
Okay.
I lost the cars. I had to call to come and repo the car. I lost everything.
What did that do to you personally? Because I know you say like you went into grind mode, but like, do you feel like pride got hit, identity was hit? Like, you know, I think a lot of times we take a lot of these things and we tie them to our identity. Do you feel like those things kind of hurt your identity quite a bit? Confidence maybe? Like which one, what got hit the most to you personally as a man?
I mean, I don't recall that really. Like as far as being super tied to my identity, I didn't even know what the fuck was going on. Like, I was just making money so fast doing that I didn't tie myself as, oh, I'm a loan officer. Like, it wasn't that. It was more like, fuck, what are we gonna do next? You know
But
what
you
I mean?
tied yourself to making a ton of money.
Yeah, yeah. That part, yeah. But
That changed dramatically.
what I'm trying to say is, I think my mom instilled something in me more like, don't worry about it. Like, everything's gonna be all right.
Yeah.
Like, we'll figure it out. Like, that was the nature. Like, we'll figure it out. So it wasn't as much as me feeling of losing the money. It was a fear of like, damn, I just found the woman I love, and am I gonna lose her? Because, I mean, she never gave me that example,
So
but
fear definitely
that
kicked in.
was the fear. The fear wasn't like me feeling less of a man because I couldn't do it in general because of the money, more because like I got everything I wanted. I had the big house. I had my beautiful wife that I like, and I'm having my first child. I always wanted to have a child. And I was like, is this gonna cause me to lose it all? So I'm like, instead of going down, I was like, no, I'm gonna figure something out. Like, I'm not losing this. This woman, this, like, I'm not, like, I gotta make sure that. So I think I didn't have a time to kind of like dwell on it at the moment because I moved really fast at finding another career.
Was there a moment where you kind of like had a moment, even a slight moment, where you were trying to figure out, okay, what kind of man am I right now in this life, in this situation, in this place? Like, who am I as a man? Was there ever a question? Or
At that
did you
moment,
feel like you were just,
at that moment, it was just go. Like, I was trying to invent myself. I did truck driving. I did everything. I tried. Like, I was so busy trying to find a solution that I don't
you
remember
didn't
having
have
that.
time to
No,
think
I
about
didn't
it?
know. It was like you turned on a switch and it was like until everything calms down, I didn't have a chance to think.
It's interesting because there's definitely that's inspiring as a human being because most human beings take a minute to wallow in, right? Like to, okay, who the hell am I inventing myself to be, right? Like who will I become? Who am I right now? Like depression kicks in, right? Like, and you're saying, nah, bro, I didn't even have time for
I
that.
didn't have time. I didn't have
Yeah,
time at
I didn't
all.
have time for that. Okay.
I mean, I have more situations that I recall right now. I told you a story there, but then from that job, oh, first of all, I get to this job
This is
and
the collection
the
job.
collection job, and I'm like, I'm never gonna catch up to people who've been doing this 5 years. That was my mindset. But I'm like, you know what? So I started pounding the phones. At the end of like the third week, they were like, hey, stop calling so many people.
Why?
And I'm like, why? I need to make commissions. And they're like, yeah, but now they're gonna expect all of us to do it. And I was like, you should do it.
Yeah.
And quickly, I was there for 3 months, and I got promoted. I was there like, yeah, I want you to take over the department, because I was like, look, I don't need to be the best at it, but I am going to be damn sure the one who works the hardest to get. So I made a ton of phone calls, right?
Yeah.
So people didn't want to, like even my own work coworkers, they didn't want to be next to me because they're like, no, you're gonna make us look bad because you're gonna work harder, right? 3 months, I leave that job and I finally go back to my buddy. I go, Ash, I got experience. I have 3 months over here. But they almost promoted me here now. Like, I'm ready for you.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is serious. All right, let's go. So we went there, same thing. A lot more skilled collectors, like very aggressive, check fraud. It was crazy. Same thing. I get in there. I'm like, all right, we're going to fake it till we make it. He like BS'd my resume a little bit to get in there. And again, we are working super hard. But then my daughter has to go to the hospital or something, and they didn't want to let me go. And I was like, nah, fuck that. I'm a grown ass man. Like, you're not
Yeah.
gonna tell me I can't go, you know, like I forgot what it was, but I'm like, I left. I don't give a fuck about the consequences. At this moment, I asked you, you said nope, bye. I left. And everything was fine. But that was a moment of reflection. At that moment, we were still wearing out of, we had lost a bunch of stuff. We're kind of getting back out. I'm probably getting back my feet. And at that moment, there was a moment that I had to think of who I wanted to be.
Yeah.
Because the moment a grown man told me, another grown man, that I couldn't be there for my wife
Do
and my
something
kid,
for your family.
yes. There I was like, yeah, that's not the man I want to be.
Right.
like I'm a very good employee. I'm somebody you want under you because I like to push people up.
Right.
You get me?
Right.
And maybe if I asked you for something that didn't make sense, maybe I would have thought about it. But at the moment, I'm like, there's absolutely nothing more important in this world.
Then my
Absolutely
family.
nothing. You cannot tell me no,
Yeah.
right? And that was a moment of reflection of who I wanted to be.
So going back to the collection and all that stuff, you weren't great at it. You mentioned you weren't great at it, but you hustled your ass off. You said in 3 months you were promoted. Like, was that hunger or survival?
Survival,
Okay.
survival, definitely survival because had already cashed that check.
Yeah.
I already, I hadn't lost the house just yet. I'm like, I gotta pay this mortgage. I gotta pay the cars, right? But it's a combination of, like I said, my father always taught me to work hard
Yeah.
as an example,
Yeah.
Funny thing is, went from that company to the second company where
What was the second company?
someone was a check management company
Check
where
management.
they did
Like
check fraud,
Okay.
like
Like
paychecks
fraud
kind of,
protection.
yeah. And we would collect
Prevention.
on them, we'd do all of that. Funny thing is, after that is when, after that incident, I stayed. I didn't really quit the company, but I lost respect for the company. And my buddy kind of lost his own respect for the company too. So he gave him a business plan. He's like, yo, we're going to revolutionize this thing. And they didn't follow it. So the supervisor that we lost respect for, he kind of lost respect for him too. Gave him a business plan, didn't use it. Well, they passed it off as his. So he comes to me and he's like, look, this is what we're going to do. We're going to take over this fucking company. And I was like, now that became fun to me. Now I'm like, oh, like that was exciting, like, what are we doing? He's like, well, we're gonna fucking work harder than everybody else. I need you to do your part and I'm gonna do my part. So I'm like, all right, fuck it. Like, I'm gonna work harder than everybody else here to make sure you do what you need to do to, like, to take over the company. The supervisor got fired. My boy got promoted. We were coming up with him. Then his manager got fired. He got promoted. We literally reshuffled the whole company. And then the ownership, I guess they made so much money, they decided they were going to sell the company or something. They were like, fuck it. Like, so we're like, nah, we're not going to stay. So we took the whole crew and we went to American Express. This is where the challenge was. At American Express, I was really bad at my job. Like, they're very, very good at making sure you could collect with customer service. But we opened a new department where it was like hardcore collections. They never had. And they had to put us through like a 6-week or 6-month training to make sure they were soften us up, teach us about customer service and MOS and all these things. And I wasn't good at that. I'm a very straight shooter, like whatever. I'm like, and I had to deal with, number one, how do I make the big commissions, right? Number two, I'm not as eloquent as everybody. I don't speak well. I accept that. So I was like, what do? You put your head down and you work harder than everybody else. So I started getting written up, even though I was making the checks. And I would argue with my supervisors. And even though I was right, like literally they would write a new rule in my favor every week after I got written up. Every week, got written up, I get into an argument, and then they'll prove them wrong, and then they'll write. But all those remarks stayed in my profile.
Right.
So I'm like, I literally built this entire thing on my back, my like bad remarks, to make sure they would improve the system, right? And I learned that, what was my goal? Like, was I trying to be right all the time, or was I trying to make money to feed my family? So that's one of the things I learned there is, where was I going with this? Like,
Yeah.
I came here to make money. I can make money very easily, or why am I making it hard on myself?
Right. So let me ask you this, I'm gonna touch on a couple things because, you talked about the collections, you talked about the fraud investigation, you talked about fake confidence that was compensated by hustle.
Yeah.
I read that, and so, what do you think? First of all, in the job of collections and fraud investigation, what did that having those conversations, being in that position, what did that teach you about the world?
Look, one of the things in the collections of check was that I was just sitting in a room, and one of these guys was like pretending to be like this big tough like investigator. Oh, come and see. I'm in the corner right now, and I'm like, oh shit, these guys are like some scary shit. If I was here on the phone, I'd be like,
Yeah.
I learned that, look, you can be whoever the fuck you want to be in this world. Like, at the end of the day, that I know you don't expect that out of that.
Right.
But when I'm calling somebody, I could be, professional. I could be a gangster. I could be whatever. They don't know who I am. They
You
only
could be nice.
see.
You could be a jerk.
They could see whatever I give them,
Right.
whatever I need to make them pay their debt. And this was like check fraud. You wrote a bad corporate check. It was a very serious thing. So don't think when I say these words, it's like, all right, no, this is like, dude, these people are like borderline criminals. A lot of them,
Right, yeah.
And the rest of them are just.
I mean, it's fraud.
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day.
And the rest of them were actual companies that they just like, they had to make choices, difficult choices. Hey, do I keep my business coming? Things like that. So, but I learned while being in that room and learning how to like be whoever I was going to be was that people look at you through this tiny little hole.
Through a microscope.
Through a microscope.
Yeah.
And they don't know all of you. They don't know your emotions. What do they need to know from you for you to get what you want? Right? I learned that there. Right? And then American Express put words into it, which is perspective is reality. Perception is reality.
Perception is reality.
Because they kept saying that over and over and over and over to me. But I learned that in that room. I remember seeing it, and I was watching it, and I'm like, this guy was like 5'4", and he was like acting like a big tough guy. This other guy, you know what I'm saying? This other guy was the sweetest guy, but he like punched one of the where you put the file folders, and so it's like if the people really knew like who the people were behind the phone, it would be a different story,
Right. So do you think that was your biggest lesson in the corporate world, like understanding you could be who you want to be, and what you present to people is who you are to them?
Yeah. The number one lesson was perception is reality.
Okay.
The second lesson I would tell you, you didn't ask for it, but I will tell you, was that working for other people is being at the mercy of other people.
Yeah.
So in this...
biggest lesson is when you're not allowed to go.
Well, that was there, but let me tell you the second part. When I had my daughter, my son, I don't know, well, my second daughter, I took time off. So I took the legitimate time to take time off. And I was like, I would say the peak of my career already, right? Like I was like doing great already. I was like one of the top people there. And I'm like, look, I need to go take 2 weeks off. We're having a baby, all this. I did it. When I came back, they demoted me from the segment I was into, like the bottom. They call it the fishbowl, right? To start over.
At which company was
At American
this?
Express.
At American Express. Gotcha.
But it was professional. It wasn't like, this is what's going to happen. You know?
Yeah.
I'm like, but I have no choice. I'm going to do this. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. So I come back, and now I'm in the fishbowl, which I'm competing with over 1,000 collectors nationwide. Not nationwide, worldwide. And it was a whole different, you did all different type of things, but I became the number one collector over 1,000 people, right?
What do you think made you stand out?
Same thing. A lot of phone calls. I would call more than everybody else. But I fucked up a lot, so I still got written up. But I was already more calm because I was mentally, I was checked out. So I'm like, look, I just got to make my paychecks, right? But then they're like, oh, if you write you up, you don't get the bonuses. I'm like, no, hold up. So now I have to make a friend with my boss's boss. And he would kind of remove the write-ups all the time. He's like, I don't care, you're the number one. Like, so first is perception is reality, right? Like that's something that I learned there. They taught me that. The second thing is that no matter how good I am, they have the word to cut me off. They can do
whatever they want.
They can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
So
when did that hit you? Like when?
Well, that's,
we talked about when perception is reality hit you, but when did that hit you? When was that like aha moment for you when you're like, oh shit, I'm at the mercy of someone else? Like,
so
I like literally my entire career is at the balance of someone else's.
I would tell you that it didn't hit me at that moment. I saw it, I felt it, but it wasn't 100% when it hit me at American Express. I chose, so I finally got promoted again. I scaled back to the segment I actually always wanted to be in. And then they were like, look, we got to make some cuts. You haven't hit your 3-month cycle here. But I'm like, I'm number one. He's like, yeah, but he's like, I got to be loyal to people who've been for years. I'm like, I appreciate you being loyal. His supervisor was like, look, he told me the truth. I was like, but I'm not coming back. He was like, no, 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 no. I'm like, because they would do this thing every 6 months. They would like recycle, and you would have to reapply. And even though I was like number one, he was like, look, I gotta try to protect some of my people that've been with me for years. I said, look, I appreciate that. I'm not coming back. I had a conversation with my wife. There's a specific conversation about I was coming home at 1 a.m. To be that good, to be like, I would have to put more hours because I wasn't as good as other people. So I would go in before, I would always go like an hour earlier and I would stay like an hour later. And it was in Davie, so it was an hour and a half drive. So I would get home 1:30 in the morning almost every night.
Yeah.
And my wife would try to keep the kids awake. She would try to spend some time with me. So after all of this, I'm like, is it really worth it? So I said, let's make a decision together. Am I going to find a job closer to home for less money? And we did. I got a job like making 24, 30 grand a year to be closer to home. And it was another collections job. And this was completely different. This was small. It was like, I walked into a little dark room and they literally said, well, hey, I'm going to give you the hardest thing. Nobody ever collects on this. Like, so you have your own little segment. Like, just, like, they gave me the shit. I said, okay, cool. I collected the shit out of it. I'm talking about 3 weeks in, they're like, yo, like, you're getting promoted. Like, what the fuck, right? And again, I don't credit her being good on the phone. I credit that nobody ever called them that hard.
Yeah, or you
Right?
made more phone calls.
I made
than they
way
were
more phone
willing
calls.
to
No,
make.
like,
Yeah.
I was doing 3 times more phone calls than anybody else. And then the lady was like, look, I'm promoting here. You're capped at the thing. Like, 3 weeks, like, you have the highest pay already. I'm like, this is not enough. Like, I can't even maintain my family with this. You said I could get bonuses, right? Yeah, but they're having an issue. I'm like, he's like, you know, I'm going to do this. Just stick with me for like another month, and I'm just going to give you like another promotion, but I got to give you a title, right? So I said, all right, cool. Then she gets fired. And I'm like, I'm not getting my promotion. It's not enough money. So then I go and I'm like, look, this is where perception reality kicked in. This is where somebody like the corporate world thing was started really kicking in. I go to the owners and I said, look, man, I need more money. There's no money in collections, not in this company. Either you put me as a supervisor or I go into sales. Oh no, we already hired somebody for supervisor, whatever. Okay, cool. Then I go into sales. They're like, oh well, you can't do sales. I'm like, I do the hardest sale. I convince people to pay things they already spent. And then they were like, no, well, whatever. If this is what you think, then it's not gonna work out. Then you gotta go. I said, all right, cool. Thank you very much for the opportunity. I loved it. Shook their hand. Thank you very much. Super graceful. As I'm walking out, this new boss comes and slams the door. I'm like, bah, closes it. You think you can do this? I'll give you a chance. But if you don't make it in the next 2 months, you turn your resignation, you walk away. I was just fired. Now he wanted me to do it. You know,
Right.
I said, okay, thank you for the opportunity. At that moment, I was angry that somebody can do that, but I wanted to prove him wrong because we love to prove people wrong.
Yeah, right.
So again, I go in, start over from collections down into sales, and again, you're dealing with sharks. People have been doing this for 10 years. They know every slick game, and I'm like, all right, put me in the room. Let me listen in. Again, I made more phone calls than everybody else. Again.
Yeah.
I give me a phone and a piece of paper, and I'll outwork anybody. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, and then I wasn't good on the phone, so I was burning things, and then people were making fun of me, and they were right. And I'm like, look, man, all right, so what's the next thing I got to do? Let's try it, right? Look, I went through that. They promoted us. We did it again. Now we changed careers again. We went from car title loans to MCAs, merchant cash advance, to learn something completely different again. They brought in some like sharks, people that knew what they were in the business for a while. Same thing. I beat them anyways, just because I kept working harder. I worked longer. They didn't like me, so they would give the better leads to them. And they're like, how is William still winning when he has the shitty leads? I had the worst leads. Like, the worst leads.
Let me ask you this, because I don't want to get too far from this, and you said something that kind of triggered a conversation I want to have. You mentioned that you work longer than everybody else, therefore that meant you were getting home super late, therefore that meant your wife was up waiting, she tried to keep the kids up, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. What did that do to, can I say her name?
Yeah.
All right, what did that do to Michelle? Like, what did it mean to now know that your wife is staying up super late, that she's barely spending any time with you? How did that affect her potential career? How did it affect her life? Did it
So,
cost her success?
yeah, she did. She gave up her career to raise her kids and whatever at the moment. So she wasn't working at the moment. But that's why I say like we win together. Like she is my partner. I win because of her because she always sacrificed all of that for us, right? But she would actually stay awake later to make sure that I had a connection with the kids, that they would see me. You know, she would do that effort. And if you can imagine being home alone, mentally draining, that would be to think, where's your next bill going to be paid out of?
Right.
Can he actually pull it off? And then you have this person unstable that people are pissing me off, and I'm like, no, I want to go into the next thing, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that it was very
She's
hard.
watching you, by the way, right?
Yeah.
Like she's like in the bleachers, and she's your number one fan, and then like she's watching you like be here, and then all of a sudden you get pushed down to here, and then you're like, I'm gonna go beat him anyway, and like she's like, okay,
Yeah.
you know, like,
Like, oh, you're there. He goes
there
again.
he goes again.
You know. So I think that that's very difficult. I think being home alone, to be able to have all these thoughts in your
Did
head.
she ever get an opportunity to express these things to you, or did she kind of just let you go play ball and applaud you and push you?
I think we had a little moments of little fights that these spurts of things would come out, right?
Right.
But for most of the time, she was really there for me. And I'm not gonna dive into it because I know it's not exciting to talk about it. But when I decided to leave that and come into what I do now, I had to have the conversation with her that I'm like, I don't care if we make money. I want to do something I feel good about. And for her to say, let's go for it, because we didn't know we were gonna make this kind of money at all. And everybody, my mentor told me, even Ralph, my best friend, told me, don't do it. Like, everybody was scared for me. And I was like, but this is the only thing I felt good doing. She really backed me up. And for those that don't know, like, I did this 6 months with no checks, 3 kids, a mortgage, a wife working at home. She took a job to support my dream. She went back to work after, I think, 7 years of not working to support what I wanted to do, right? So you could imagine the type of woman that it takes to, number one, to leave your kids, because that was the hardest battle, right?
Yeah. That's what I was gonna ask. Like, what was the biggest stressor? And it was more than likely that.
That
Yeah.
was that. That's why I was trying to get that, but it was like we were like really behind. That's when things got really real, because she was watching me like, oh, okay, like this. Look at this guy fuck up again, like, and she was still there, And when I come to her and had a very serious conversation about what we're gonna do next, I didn't know how she was gonna react. It wasn't a movie moment like this is the flip switch where like everything works out great. No.
And I wrote something here. So you walked away from the money to save your spirit.
So, I mean, I'm pretty sure you felt this, right? Like you just felt dark. Like I felt like I was doing a job that I was really good at, and I just didn't feel satisfied. I wasn't happy, and I was helping these business owners that would basically convince themselves to take this money, and then lie to themselves. And I'm like, yeah, yeah, okay. And then I'm like, you kept coming back to me every 3 months, and it was like residual income of once I got them in the circle, they'll keep coming back. I'm like, I can't do this to them. So I was trying to fight for them on the back end, but my bosses, the people who gave me, they weren't letting me know how else can I help them. Right? Like I wasn't having more options. I was just getting into the same holes over and over and over again. And it just didn't feel like I came home, I felt dirty.
And you felt so you said something earlier too, though. Like there's that, and there's also the idea of you can't control your own life because someone else owns it. Right?
Yeah.
Like so. Do you feel like there was fear over clarity or clarity over fear when you made the move to come into the mortgage world?
I don't know. It was fear of who's becoming.
You
Both.
remember that Jay-Z song "Moment of Clarity"?
Yeah.
For me, it kind of felt like that song came out when I was having these like epiphanies in my life, right? Like moments of clarity. Do you feel like for you it was a moment of clarity, or did you feel like, I am scared of these people having control, So I need to go create my control? Or was it like, wait a minute.
So
If I do this, then I can do that.
it was both. The clarity came in a simple thing that I was like, the only time I've ever been happy doing a job where I earned good money, because I earned good money before doing mortgages, is when I saw somebody at the closing table. I believe in home ownership.
A lot of people don't believe that that's a true experience, right? Like they look at lenders and realtors and, man, you just want your percentage, you know? But they don't believe that that moment is a game changer for someone like you.
So, sorry, I'm going to change my position a little bit. So, listen to the story that happened, right? I sat with my wife and said, we're not going to make money. But if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do something that I love. This is a true story.
Yeah.
We had this conversation.
Yeah.
I didn't know we were going to be successful at this.
Yeah.
I already had kids. I already had a mortgage. But I'm like, we're going to lose it all, or we're going to make it work, but I'm going to do something that I feel good about. And I feel really good about knowing that my kids have a home. So when I put a family into a home, I'm not just thinking about like the person. I'm thinking about like the legacy, like how, like I'm thinking so much. I'm not trying to sell myself right now, but I really believe in that.
You believe in it. You believe in the mission that you're on.
Yeah.
And that's game changer for you. And I'm sure that also changed the dynamic of your household, right? Because at some point, your wife gave up work to be with the kids.
Yeah.
Then she gave up the kids to be at work to support you. And now we're full circle again. She doesn't have to work anymore.
Yeah, she pretty much retired a couple years back. I wouldn't want to say she retired. I say the word, but the reality is she took a more important job that needed to be had, and which is handle the most important part of my life, so I continue to do what I'm doing, right?
Which is home.
Which is home, the kids, the homework. To be there allowed me to be more here, like to be able to be better at this.
It takes a very strong person to do that.
I don't think anybody could ever measure the amount of work that she takes, because it's not just actual labor. The emotional toll that it is to deal with your kids, it's more draining than anything.
You know, I think when we started this podcast and we talked about Forged into Man, and we wanted to talk about what makes the man, right? What forges the man. Mm-hmm. And by the way, there are different segments to this, and I don't know if you're tracking it, but there's the fire, there's the forging part, right? Then there's the man that you become, and then there's the message you want to give. I believe that's the process, right? And I think that in the fire and the forge, there's a place for your wife. There's a place that your wife takes in the part of the fire, and there's a place that your wife takes to help forge who you become, and you become the man that you become because they carried in that place. I'm a believer in that. I'm such a believer in that. I'm experiencing that with my wife, and I know that you experience it with yours. You know, how, and it's like the weird question, but like I want to dig into this. How grateful are you for her presence? And also, like, what were her biggest contributions into your fire and forge?
I mean, she's everything. Like, I credit her fully for my success. I'm stupid in love with my wife. I don't know what to say. Like, she's everything to me.
Which, by the way, is okay.
Yeah. But I don't think she ever gives herself enough credit. You get me? Like, we talk about this a lot with different people, and they're like, oh, why can't somebody be such as great or whatever? But I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to discredit anyone, but I don't think anybody is as strong as my wife at putting up with me, right? I'm not an easy person. right? And to be able to see the things that I have to do sometimes and kind of have that self control to allow me to be sometimes or to push me to be who I want to be, that is a job in itself. Like, I appreciate that. Like, I know that I'm eternally going to be grateful to her for that. It's not about the money, it's not about the success, it's about the mental clarity and that I've been able to feel thanks to her taking such a responsibility off of the table for me. Like, she's taking the responsibilities that allow me to think certain ways. It gives me space to be who I need to be as a man. Like, I think people have a incorrect perception of a marriage. I see more of a partnership, which means that we don't have to do everything together. You handle things so I can do other things, right? We enjoy things together, but we endure different struggles to make sure that we can each be better at our parts, right?
Do you think that she is, because as people listen to your story, they're listening to you go from one fire to another fire to another fire to another fire, right? Like we were joking earlier, watch, Michelle sitting back there going, whoop, there he goes again,
Yeah.
right? And you just kept jumping in the fire until you found the one that forged you.
Yeah.
And do you think that Michelle is a big part of the reason on why you didn't break in any of these fires?
I think she's a huge part. She is my light at the end of the tunnel.
Because there's a foundational piece, right? There's your dad. There's the lessons you learned growing up. Like one could say, well, if she didn't exist, would you still make it? The answer is
Yes. I think that I will still make it. I think that I would because this is a struggle that I've thought about many, many times before. I actually had that thought before. There's Look, man, I'm not too religious. I believe in a lot of things. I believe in God. But I'll tell you a couple of different thoughts that come into place right now. Number one is I turned down a job, and I think for a couple of years I was like, man, I turned down this job for my wife, right? Then I found out that a lot of people went to jail. So she was like sent by God or whatever to put me on a better path. You know what I'm
God
saying?
has a path, man.
But the reality is that I do have that work ethic to put me anywhere and be successful, right? As far as work wise, would I be without her as happy as I am? I'm not talking about with her making me happy. With me as a man of who I am, like, yes, I'm very sad about certain things, but I am a very happy person. And I think she is a big part of that. Like I told you, she took things away from me so I could be able to be free. I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know how to explain that, but
Yeah, I get it.
that is where I credit her. It's not just the work thing. It's like I'm very happy. Like
Besides taking on the role of the household, the parent, helping the kids, like all that stuff, what do you think she really, really helps lift off of your shoulders that really helps you be as happy as you are today? Because it's way more than she takes care of the kids, right? Like what helps, what is it that she's lifting off of your shoulders that makes you want to be the man you want to be for her? Hey guys, real quick. If you're in real estate and you're thinking about growing your business, I want to personally invite you to connect with me at davidadamkurz.com. Everything I've built is designed to help agents do one thing: make more money, the triple M. I lead a powerful real estate organization at LPT Realty, and my team is growing fast across the country. And if you're looking for leadership, support, systems, and a high-producing community, come talk to us. I'm also scaling New World Title, one of the fastest growing title companies in the country. If you're a realtor looking for a title partner that actually supports your business, we've built something special. And through PRMG, we've opened incredible mortgage opportunities for agents who want to earn more, leverage more, and put themselves in a position to win financially. All three companies align for one mission: help agents make money and build real estate businesses with real support. If you want to learn more, go to davidadamkurz.com or send me a DM on any social media. I'd love to connect with you and see how we can help you grow. All right, guys, let's get back to the show.
I don't know if it's what she like. I'm trying to explain it better. I don't know how to explain it because it really doesn't have words. She gives me peace. Like I don't like she's there. The fact that she's there, that alone, it's like it brings me mental peace. Like what are you fighting for? You know, like what are you doing everything for? Like most people try to achieve some things I already have, right? Like that gives me the inspiration to keep going. It gives me the fear of not to lose it. It gives me like I don't know. I think about her and it just really
Yeah.
brings you peace, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
You just took the deep breath, by the way. For those of you guys that didn't hear it, there was a big deep breath there, right?
Yeah.
I think that's, you said there's no words for it, but those are the words for it. It just brings you peace.
yeah. I talk to a lot of men and I think that I come home and my wife is not my wife is really strong, first of all. Like she is a boss. Like anybody knows her, she don't but for me to come home and still be able to feel that peace,
Yeah, it's huge.
it's huge, you know? Like
Yeah.
it's not like she's coming and barking at
So, oh
me.
my
every
gosh,
day.
it could be a completely different person, right? Like we all know the stories.
Yeah.
We all know that wife,
Yeah.
right? Like, we all know that wife, that the guy is like miserable, doesn't even want to be home. We all know that one. What a blessing it is to want to go home at the end of your workday.
Yeah.
You know, shit, I want to go home early sometimes.
Well,
And then you're like, well, no, I gotta work.
I'll tell you a little bit selfishly that I think if I get home too early, might be you walking into ruckus, you know, like these crazy things. Um, there has to be like good time, but the truth is, I love watching my family.
Yeah,
Like I was last weekend, I was literally there was a chaos everywhere,
yeah,
and we're like at a family, bro. And I'm just like sitting watching. People are like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm just watching them. My wife laughing, my kids playing, my like daughter's laughing, my other
what a
one's laughing,
blessing.
and I'm just like, I made it. Like,
And the fun part is, I want everybody to hear this really loud and clear. You didn't say, I checked my bank accounts and I realized I made it, or I looked at my house and I realized I made it. You said, I was watching my wife laughing and my kids playing and I realized I made it,
yeah,
which is way bigger than the house you live in, the car you drive, the business you have, the bank account you created. Like, it's way bigger than that.
look, I also think that I'm take more risks because of that, because I'm like, money doesn't mean as much as it means to other people to me. It's means to an end.
Yeah.
Like, there's a couple secrets that I could teach people about understanding, getting what you want, and all of that, which to me, that's a whole different thing that I'm very comfortable in not taking risks. Maybe before not, but now, knowing that I'm like, this is it.
Yeah.
How do I get more of
Yeah,
this?
yeah.
You know? That
Interesting. So you made it a point in our pre-interview to talk about how you've lost a lot of people that you loved, and has really affected you in your life, and you've been knocked down repeatedly. Talk to me about that, and talk to me about who that truly revealed you to be as a human being and as a man.
look, I can tell you, my family, we've lost a lot of people very often. It's a big family. You're gonna lose people. I don't know what I learned from it. Reality, I can't even remember. I just know the pain of losing. Look, the main person that I lost was actually my cousin.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember when it happened in such a tragic way. It's a very tragic way, right? But for weeks, I wake up and I would forget that he had passed,
It's like your mind wanted to separate from it.
right?
Yeah.
But then I realized that maybe I took him for granted
Yeah.
because I was like, how can my brain assume that he was alive if I didn't see him, right? Because I was like, oh, yeah, he was there in the back of my mind. He's fine because he's there. I know he's at home or something, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I don't know if maybe that's more like I'm trying to appreciate the fact that I do take people for granted, and maybe I shouldn't. And that was one of the things, because you could be here today and not tomorrow. Um, it's also one of the things as to why I don't believe in. Like, I don't think we were brought here to just sit here and watch TV.
Yeah.
We didn't bring here just to do nothing, right?
Yeah.
Like, we're whatever reason we're put in here, it is to connect with other people. It is to do things, to invent, create, develop, whatever it is. So ever since then, I think I've been very, very active in my life as far. Like, I don't just sit and do nothing.
Yeah.
So I don't really know specifically the lessons I got, but I could tell you those two things were, life is short.
Yeah.
Do
Well, you
something
mentioned something to me. You said, pain shows you're alive. Love hurts because you love. Peace is boring. Explain that philosophy to me.
So,
Because by the way, like I'm reading this, right, and we just literally finished a conversation about how important Michelle's piece is to you,
Yes.
right? And here you write, pain shows you're alive. I agree with you there.
Yeah.
Love hurts because you love. Peace is boring. Explain that
So
philosophy.
let me kind of explain that a little bit first. Look, love hurts because you are able to love, right? Like if you weren't able to love, like you weren't able to feel that
You
loss.
would
like,
never feel the effect
yeah. So
of it.
it's that's the way I said it, and that's the way
Right.
I say it. But it's a little bit more into this. But yes, peace is boring. Peace is super boring, right? So it's hard to maintain when you're bored. Does that make sense?
You know,
Like,
I battle that a little bit sometimes because I'm looking for peace all the time now, at this stage in my life.
yeah, but if you have a lot of peace, I think that all right, whenever as human beings we get bored of something,
Yeah.
it's hard for us to maintain those.
Yeah.
You got me?
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Okay.
Like, you look for peace because you don't have a lot of peace. Right? But if you had a lot of peace, you wouldn't be able to maintain it because you get bored and you let me go do something. You see where I'm going with it?
So like I tell my wife I want to retire. She goes, "There's no way in the world that you're going to retire."
So that's what I'm trying to say with that.
Right.
Peace is boring, right? Like, we want peace. I need this peace. But at the same time, when you get too much of it, it's very hard to maintain, right? Like, she gives me peace, so I go into war. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, maybe that's not where you thought I was taking that what I said about
I love it.
peace is
Take it
boring,
there.
but that calmness is what say, all right, well, let's go take some action. Let me
Yeah.
do some things, you know what I'm saying?
Let me go to battle.
Let me go to battle because I know I have this peace. If I didn't have this peace, like, I don't know, I think you guys have a great relationship, but let's assume that your wife was always at war with you at home. So instead of coming to work
To go
and,
to war
and go to war,
finding peace
now you're
that
trying
way.
to find peace over here.
Yeah.
Now you're not doing what you need to do. You see where that goes?
Yeah.
That's where I mean, like,
You're just happy to be out of the house.
yes.
Yeah.
Like, I would get out of the house, I want to work, I'll probably just be like, look, man, let me just have a meal, right? Or I don't know, like, let me go have a
Yeah.
drink or whatever.
Yeah.
Now, I can't tell you that I'll do it specifically because I do dive deep into work. But I think that's what the message I'm trying to say, you know?
You said something in our pre that you said a man eats shit first. What does that responsibility look like to you, specifically at home?
Look, I've said the story before, and I don't want it to come off the wrong way, right? But a couple years back, I went through a phase where me and my wife were having a difficult time. We're not perfect, you know? And I would come home after a very long and stressful day. You know where the market's been. It's been super hard. And my wife would get mad at me and expect me to do the dishes, or she wouldn't do the dishes, and she would just be, at that moment, watching TV, right? And she'd get mad at me because I didn't take out the garbage and things like that. In my mind, I'm like, you're sitting there watching TV. By the way, that's not all she did. She's exhausted from an entire day worth
From
of
a
things.
long day.
But
But
at
you
that,
didn't see that.
Exactly. I didn't see that. Same thing on her thing. Oh, you've been gone out of the house, having fun all day, doing all these things. Like, now it's time for you to do some work, right? So both our perceptions of each other at the moment weren't, you know? And it wasn't the time and place to have a discussion like, hey, what did he do today? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I battled with myself a couple of times. Should I have an argument or not? And I was like, you know what? Let me just wash the dishes. Let me just take out the garbage. And I started doing more and more and more. Like whatever was difficult, I just said, let me lean into it.
Yeah.
And then everything I wanted kind of started getting fixed, better communication, everything. Instead of me having to put my own perception as to, maybe I want things easier, maybe give me a break or maybe help me out, I was more like, how can I help you? You know, what can I do? Doesn't matter if my day was hard. Doesn't matter if I'm tired. Doesn't matter what's going on. How can I take that burden off of anybody around me, right?
Where did you learn that? Where did you learn that service first?
I don't know. I just kind of like
It's very biblical, by the way.
I battled with myself a lot within myself to decide, like, I mean, I do read books,
Yeah.
so I think I could probably call. There was a book. Was it? It was no, it was a short story, like a movie or something called something Fire. Like it was about like there was a relationship, they were having problems, and then like, did you really try everything? Give it 30 days. Try always doing whatever they want to. Don't fight back or something like that. Maybe I got it from there. I don't know. I'm thinking about it now.
Yeah. Because
But-
I'm sure you use that similar tactic in business and things. I mean, you're in the service business.
Yeah, I
In leadership, there's, they say servitude leaders, right? Like, is that who you are as a leader?
definitely. I think it's carried upon that I eat the shit first, right? Like I take the losses first. I run into the fire first. I try things first. So yes,
So you brought that home.
I brought that. I think I'm realizing this live, so it's not something I wasn't prepared for.
Yeah, it's super dope.
I think that's where it comes from, right? Because it's very easy for me to like do the math at work when I say, well, if I do this sacrifice, I'm getting this for the family, or if I'm helping you and I do this, I know exactly how to quantify what I did when I ate shit for and I'm willing to take a loss sometimes, but I don't win nothing. Right. But it's not easy sometimes to think about that at home, right? Yeah. So I think I did bring it from business into my household. But I think as men, like to go back to that, like there's too many little bitches. I'm sorry. Like it's like people, give me a break. I need a break. I need time off. I need time for myself and all these things. And don't get me wrong. I know this world is stressful. I know that depression is real, but if you just leap into the difficult things first, you don't have time for most of those thoughts, right? Mm-hmm. And then you think about something so long, or about not doing something so long, that you wasted more time thinking about than just doing the thing that you hated doing, right? Like my when I was a kid, they taught me, hey, if you don't like a dish, eat the nasty things first and then finish with the good things so you can spend more time enjoying the good things.
Right. And the taste stays longer.
So that was something I was taught as a kid. I'm like, if I were to eat something, like, look, I didn't like beans, right? And very young age, I started loving the beans, right? And it was like, look, just eat the beans first. And you love rice, so eat the rice last. But you get to enjoy the rice and eat the beans fast, right? Then I actually started loving the beans. So I started loving the shit. So basically, so I guess that comes from that too, right? Like,
yeah. It's like the little lessons that end up being the bigger lessons in life. Yeah. My kids still don't like the beans, by the way. They don't. You got to liquefy it for them to eat them. And by the way, they're teenagers now. Yeah. So I don't think they're ever going to like beans. Maybe.
I don't know. My point is, I guess I'm saying this, and the lesson there is, if I want to be able to enjoy the things that I like longer,
you got to eat the shit first.
I got to eat the shit first. You know what I'm saying? That's the lesson that I'm trying to say.
All right, so I'm going to ask you a series of questions, and let's just kind of run through them. What does being a man mean to you today? Like, let's take it away from a generality. Less general, more will. What does it mean to you to be a man today in this day and age?
I'm not really sure exactly how to answer that question. I'm gonna tell you what comes to mind. To be a man today is to be strong enough to chase your choices. What I mean is, like I feel people are always too scared to say what they gotta say, to do what they gotta do, and to commit and to stick to things, right? Like I'm not just a protector, provider. I'm also a role model,
Right.
right? So to be a man is more than just, hey, pay for this, hey, work for that. Is also to be somebody people could look up to and say, well, that's what it's supposed to be, right? Like that's how it's supposed to be. Um, I think when I was growing up, people were talking about, oh, like you need to be more sensitive. Like men need to be more sensitive, and now I'm like, I think we need to be strong enough to accept who we are.
Yeah, I think men lost their identity.
They did,
Yeah.
and
Because we got talked into being different, if you will, like, search for your feminine side, right? But that's not what we were designed to be or do.
yeah. Well, I think they got confused.
Yeah.
Like they're trying to say, "Hey, talk to me," or express your emotions, and I get that.
Yeah. I mean,
get that.
I get that too. I'm with that.
I get that. But as far as like I told you earlier, it's like I need a break, or like all these other things. Like, come on, dude. Like to me, a man
Right.
takes care of shit.
Yeah.
You take the shit first. You
Yeah.
jump into those things. That to me is who I aspire to be. I aspire to be more like I aspire to do more of the difficult things up front, so maybe the people around me don't have to. And I want them to appreciate that, so they can say, "Hey, like my son, I want him to be that person. You know, I want him to learn how to treat a woman, how to raise his kids. I don't want him to be weak." And I don't know if that's gonna come off really bad, but that's
No,
exactly
but
what it
it
is.
shouldn't. It shouldn't come off bad. You know, if you bring faith into the picture and you bring the Bible into the picture. Now, I know you mentioned earlier that you believe in God and all that stuff, but you're not strong faith, right? I think
I have a strong faith in God.
right, but not a religion.
I'm not too much into organized religion.
There you go. Okay. But when you look at the Bible and you read it, it's like when God said, let there be man, it's because he looked over the earth that he created and realized that there was going to be fruits and vegetables and things that grew and no one to take care of the fields. And so he designed man to do the hard work right. And then when you think about why the Bible, God says, I need to create a companion, and you read about why that companion was important, it was to be that supportive person that you say Michelle is, right? And I say Jennifer is. And to be that person for us. It doesn't mean that they can't have careers or they can't work or they can't build something of their own. None of that is what we're saying. What we're saying is that in the dynamic of the man-woman relationship, we're supposed to be strong. We're not supposed to be weak. And there's no woman on this planet that is going to tell you that they want a weak man in their lives. Right? Like, give me a break, dude. You know? All right, so that being said, what version of Will walks through the door when you go home to your wife and kids?
The weak man. No, I'm playing. No, look, man, I think I try to switch. I'm not too different. Like, I really try to be the same person ever. If you know me, you see me, I'm with the same person with or without my wife. But I am more serviceable, right? Like, picture yourself as in a kingdom and you serve the king, you serve the queen, whatever. I don't think myself as a king and queen. I'm more like when I get home, these are my royals that I got to serve, right? Like, I know it doesn't maybe show that way, but in my mind, I'm like, how was your day? How can I help you? Can I get you water? And I'm not talking about my wife. I'm talking about my kids. This is just how I am when I get home, you know? Like, I'm happy just to be there where, yeah, sometimes I'm like, no, get it yourself. But I'm just trying to teach them a lesson. Not that it really bothers me, you know? So when I walk in the door, I want to be there for them.
Yeah. That's a beautiful thing. I think that's the epitome of a man. The understanding of the difference between how you show up to the office and how you go to war versus how you go love.
Yeah.
You know? What do your kids see in you that you wish young Will saw?
That's a very difficult question. I don't know if they see it. I know what I try to show them, right? right? Consistency. Consistency overall is that I'm always there. I'm always going to be there. Um, Look, my father got dealt a set of cards where it changed his consistency for me because I know he's a very consistent person, and I didn't get to see it always. My mom was very inconsistent with a lot of things, and I chose that path, right? Like I was always around that. Now I love it. I'm gonna tell you straight up, I learned a lot from it, but the one thing that I can tell you is consistency. Like I'm always there. Like my kids might say I'm consistently working. I get it, but maybe they're not seeing that I'm always there to help them. I'm always there to listen. I'm always there, like checking in on them. How are you doing? How's every like, and and to show them more about how to appreciate their mother. I think that I'm always trying to put like everything. You go back to your mom. You love your mom more. You respect your mom more. I don't care if I buy the gifts. You say thank you to your mother. I don't care like like you say thank you to her. She owns everything. She does everything. She is everything.
Since the question was, what do your kids see in you that you wish young Will saw or needed? And one of your responses was, mom. Like, go to mom, mom, love mom, respect mom, treat women right, treat mom right. Um, what was your lesson growing up there? Like, why do you feel that's important? What piece was missing for you?
Well, I think I said it earlier. I don't think I'm a great son, right? So I think I'm trying to compensate for that.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I grew up with a mom, separated my father, dated, married somebody else, and I don't think she was appreciated as a woman. I also grew up raised by women who constantly showed me and taught me just how strong women are, right? Like, and I don't think they were ever appreciated as that. So that's what I grew up and saw that there was a lack of. Um, I mean, part of it I think is why I fell in love with my wife because they showed me how strong a woman is.
Yeah.
But also, what makes me want to be better to her is the fact that they weren't treated that way.
Yeah.
I know my father was great, but obviously that didn't work out.
Yeah.
So I didn't get to see it in action as often as maybe I should have.
you
So I
wish
try
you
to
would've.
show it. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. All right. If your father saw you today, you got to spend, let's say, I don't know, 7 straight days with you, 24/7. What do you think he would say about who you are as a man?
So I think he's seen glimpses of the things that I've done, and he's been very proud of me. I honestly can't tell you he'll be proud of every instance. So look, I think part of my success is that I'm able to check myself out quickly out of negative mindsets, but I do fall in them. I just think I'm not perfect. I do have moments where I spend 20 minutes on Instagram. I get the hell out of this and go back to work. You know what I'm saying? Um, my father, I mean, I'm a lot like my father, but my father's very good at pushing like the best out of somebody. Like if he was around me, like I couldn't be lazy. Like I would, like I'm not lazy now, but it's kind of like, oh, you could do better. Like he's not rude about it. He's like, oh, look at that, like you missed something,
You missed it.
Um,
Just saying.
but I don't know. He's also changed. He's also changed a lot lately. Where we're in a similar level of gratefulness just to be here. So I think he would be very proud of me. I think um, I don't know. I really think that he already know he's proud of me on certain things. I don't know if some decisions that I make on a daily basis he would agree with.
Okay.
Um, but I think his overall image of me, he's already told me, and I see that, and I appreciate that. And my mom too. They're both proud of me, and it's honestly, it's very like I'm like I don't think you should be proud of me. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not there yet. I don't know if that
But that's in your head, right?
in my head. Yeah, I know I'm
Yeah.
part of myself.
Yeah. What there's something you said that there were decisions that you would make that maybe he would not agree with.
Yeah.
And in my brain, I kind of tied that to risk.
Yes, actually, exactly what it is. So, I mean, this is not like deep, but this is the truth, right? Like, I learned things from both my parents. I'm grateful for both of them because they both forged who I am today, right? Like, my father, it's My father taught me to be happy and content with doing a job, like whatever job. And he also taught me that whatever you decide you're gonna do, just be the best at it. If you're a thief, be the best thief. If you're a janitor, be the best. Like that's who he taught me to be, right? Um, and my mom taught me to dream big. My mom has unrealistic expectations of what you can achieve sometimes. Or had, especially when she was younger. And I saw both of them. So I have unrealistic expectations. I worked like hell to get them, right? Um, my father once told me, I don't even know if he remembers this, if he's gonna listen to this and be like, I didn't say that, but he did tell me when I was trying to be an entrepreneur, he's like, I tried many businesses and I failed at them. That's not for me, right? And I maybe took it to heart for at the moment when I was that age, and I was like, oh, well, let me just work for somebody, right?
Mm-hmm.
And my mom is more like, yeah, like I don't want to work for nobody, like I'll do a job, and I do it well, but I'm not going to, Um, so that's where I think, like, yes, my risk. He's like, yeah, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
He would understand the chances that it take, the money, time, and efforts that I invest in people, right? Back to both of them. This is not just my father, right? My father has very little friends. He has a very small circle. My mom, when I grew up, was around a lot of people. I have like 7 best friends. Like I have friends, and I'm still
Right.
making more friendships.
Right.
Like you're a friend, and
Yeah.
and you're a mentor of mine, whether you know it or not. By the way, that's something sneaky. We'll talk about that later. Most of my mentors don't know they're my mentors.
Seriously.
Um, but that's where I could like the friendships. Maybe sometimes they didn't agree with them. The choices and the risk and the investments I do in people, he definitely would be like, yeah, I know, like
Yeah. He's risk adverse.
he's very risk adverse.
Okay. Let's get into the message, which helps me close out this podcast, right? Like, as we mentioned earlier, we wanted to talk about the fire, the forge, and the man. But now I think it's important to get a message out. And so
Before we do the message, let me interrupt you. Let me destroy your
my
process.
entire
real quick.
process.
Yeah. I do want to say a message that just came to mind, and is that part of the lesson that my father taught me was to learn from other people's mistakes. Is that I self-create mentors that they don't know they're my mentors. I watch what they do, and I told you something this week, and I'm like, people do not appreciate you for what you do, and I told you it's because you run through things first. You're very good at getting an idea and saying like trying it out, but I don't think people see that. I'm like, damn, like you ran that through that for me, and I'm sorry, I'm gonna take
Yeah.
it. I'm gonna take
as
it,
you should.
and I'm gonna learn from it. I'm gonna say,
Yeah.
well, yeah, he fucked up there. I'll do it like this better,
Yeah.
right? And that's where I mean, I have mentors that don't know are my mentors. I'm watching, and I don't hate on people. I support them, and I mean, you didn't know this, right? But I do learn from your mistakes, and I learn from your wins, and and I'm like, hey, I didn't have to go through that. Thank you, David. I appreciate you. Here, cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
But there's many other people in my life that I've done that with, right? So I wanted to get that out
Was your
there.
dad one of them?
Yes,
Your mom?
yes. Look, one of the recent lessons that I bought. Oh, both of them. Oh man, shit. I was gonna say this one, but I'll get into my mom. My father told me, you guys believe in the law of attraction, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Of course.
my father told me that what he always wanted was, because he came to the U.S., he worked as a janitor. He worked for like I think Princeton, one of those schools at a time, and they didn't bother him. He was like, "This is what I want. I just want to be able to be left alone. Let me do my job, and I could just do it at my own pace and just pay me whatever." Like he described what he wanted is exactly what he has today. It wasn't a big dream.
But it was his dream.
It was his dream. I saw that, and I'm like, you made a mistake, and you got something right. Number one thing, you made a mistake to dream too small. Number two, you're happy with whatever you have, and you make the best of it. So there's 2 lessons I got there, and one of the things is that I always kick myself in the ass for making my goals too small. I achieve all the goals I want. why do I think so small all the time?
Yeah.
Right? My mom, my mom, bro, this lady taught me something that, and it's part of the good and bad. Everything's gonna be okay. Everything's always gonna work out, no matter how bad things are. So yes, I piggyback on both of them whenever I need to. When shit's really bad, when you don't see the light at the end of the tunnel, where like, hey, the bills are coming off of you, the collections, the lawsuits, the whatever, all at the same time, some people break down. They get into these things.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's gonna be all right.
Yeah.
I learned that from her, right? Because I lived that as a kid, where things got really bad, and you looked at her, she's like, it's gonna work out, and things always did.
It's funny how that works out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. By the way, you didn't ruin any of my systems. Just put that out there. All right. So, what is the message you want men to hear from surviving your own fires? Like, what's the message you really want them to hear?
Look, honestly, as I was exposed here today, I kind of see that maybe I do have a story to tell, right?
Yeah.
I didn't feel I did. Like I didn't feel like I really had like that many fires. And as I talk more, like more stories come out and things like
Yeah,
that.
of course.
I think the message I want to see, number one, is that you're not alone. There are many of us here going through very similar situations and all learning how to deal with it. I really believe that we should be able to make mistakes. We should make more mistakes. Don't be scared to make them, right? But just don't do nothing. Have that conversation. Do that job. Take that risk. And if you're going to show something to your kids, I would hope that would be it, right?
Yeah.
Like right now, as I consider myself to be one day like a version of a man that people look forward to aspire to, I'm not there, but I'm going to get there one day. That version looks like that. They're not scared of taking chances. They're not scared of fucking up. And if they fuck up, they're going to say, I'm sorry. They're going to fix it and they're going to move on. But too many powerful, strong, intelligent men that can accomplish great things for us, for our society, for other people to learn from, are stuck doing nothing.
Yeah. They haven't figured out how to open the space.
Yes. And I think today's society is holding them down. Society is telling them not to be a man, not to explore, not to. You can't even say something.
That's my biggest problem, I think, right now is we're actually in a place in the world where people question the definition of a man after beating him up for so long for being a man. Who we are today as men is not who men were in the 1970s, is not who men were in the 50s, is not who men were in the late 1800s. Like, yes, I agree. We have to shift and change and adapt to the environment around us, but we're not supposed to become inefficient and weak and crybabies. You know what I mean?
I mean, I almost cried twice today, so it's okay to cry.
Yeah, but that's not what I mean. I'm talking about the shit that you said
missing.
earlier when you said, we eat the shit first.
Yes.
Right?
Stop being little bitches.
Stop being little bitches.
Look, I have a son. And my son, just like any other kid, wants to play video games every single day of the week, right? Every weekend I wake up and I'm like, did you do your shit? And I'm hard on him. And I'm like, you wake up and you do this. And I sometimes feel bad because I probably am harder on him about doing things because I'm like, society's going to treat you a different way.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to tell you it's okay to be lazy. It's okay to be weak. It's okay to be... You know what? Frankly, it's okay. You should choose to be a man, right? But I want to show you that it doesn't take that much more work to just get shit done.
You're right.
Right? And knowing that I have a son, I feel that we have the responsibility to show him that it's okay to be a man, to take care of business, to take responsibility on shit, right? Like, shit, we fuck up every day. Why are people scared of, like, just being who you're supposed to be?
Be who you're supposed to be. You said stop being a little bitch.
Yeah,
Get shit done,
yeah.
right? How do you explain that in a way that can be absorbed and not offend people?
Look, I think I said it repeatedly. Like, you got to eat the shit first. Like, whatever it is in front of you, like, if you want to put something in context and to be specific, I'm trying not to bring it into business, but let's say I tell you got to call 100 people today. Let's say that's what your family's wealth depends on. You gotta call 100 motherfuckers today, every single day, for the rest of the year. That's what you gotta do. Are you gonna sit and think about how you don't want to do the job? Are you gonna sit and think about how you're gonna feel about it? Are you gonna sit and think of, oh man, if I miss out? Are you gonna sit and think,
Or are you just gonna do it?
or are you just gonna fucking do it?
Yeah.
I'm gonna give a different example, but that was the work. Like, just get it done. And that's being a man. I don't care how I feel about it. I don't care about what's gonna happen. It needs to be done. That's it. Do it and move the fuck on. That's it. Excuse my language, but it's something that pisses me off, right?
Yeah.
Let's assume that you're at home and your wife is telling you every week is nagging over you not doing a particular task. Like, did you paint the baseboards or whatever? And you come, you grab a beer, you sit down, you watch the game, and you're nagging to me again about, just do the fucking baseboards. Like, I don't know how much clearer can I tell you this.
Yeah. Just do the fucking work.
You do the work, and you get to bask in the rewards longer.
And communicate. If you can't do the work or you can't do it at the moment, communicate why you can't do the work. I had a funny story, right? My wife took one of the bedrooms in the house and she turned it into her she shed, right?
Now show me this one.
It is pink and mauve and, like, you know what I mean? It's like, it's got butterflies and a cherry blossom tree inside.
Oh, she does do the butterfly thing.
Oh, yeah. And
Michelle's would be a black room, though.
yeah, no, hers is
This
not.
would be her.
This will be her room. Yeah, no, not my wife. My wife was looking. This is to me, and she's been living in this for too long that she had to go, I need my space, you know? And I'm very excited that she has her space, but she buys this huge frame and she sets it on top. We bought a sofa for the room and she sets it on the back of the sofa. And she goes, hey, I need you to put this picture up. And I said, all right, I'll take care of it. But like a week had passed and I hadn't taken care of it. And I traveled and then I came back and realized she put the damn picture up. And I go, did you just put up the frame? And she goes, yeah. I go, why would you do that? She goes, well, I asked you to do it. It's been 2 weeks, so I just put it up myself, right? That's my fault. Because what I had not communicated was that I bought these special anchors that took like a couple weeks to get delivered so I could put it up and never worry about it falling on somebody's head on the couch. I didn't communicate that. So in her brain, she was like, he's not going to do it.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, we deal with that. I deal with that myself all the time, bro.
And then the anchors came in, and I was like, well, I guess I don't need these. You know?
Now you got to do it again. Now you got to do it again.
No, man. I'm going to let it fall on somebody's head first. No, I'm kidding.
No,
All right.
but it's,
You believe most men don't need a break. They need direction. Break that down.
look, I might not be right about this.
'Cause you said it a couple times, by the way. You're like,
I
these
might
little
not be
bitches
right
asking
about
for
this,
a break.
but what do you need a break from? Right?
Do you think that maybe taking a break sometimes actually helps you come back stronger?
So yes, but that's not a break to me. Like, doing a reset is not a break. Right? Maybe the word bothers me, right? Like, like me saying, hey, go me a second. Let me think about this for a second. Maybe it might be, hey, let me go take a break. But I'm like, nah, let me kind of figure this out. Let me go figure this out. It's not, let me take a break. You get me? It's two different things to me. Mm-hmm. If I tell you, like, let's say if I'm working out and I need to kind of like, let me take a break from the workout. I get that. I understand because you're physically exhausted or whatever.
Yeah.
If you're mentally exhausted, you're like, oh, let me take a break from it. I kind of get that, right?
Okay. Okay.
But a lot of people want to use this excuse like, oh, I've been working too hard. Let me take the weekend off. I'm like, no, I don't do that. And I'm okay with it. And I'm honestly, I feel great about taking the weekend and saying, well, let me look at this from a different angle. So it's not a break specifically. It's kind of like I'm shifting how I'm looking at whatever I'm doing, whatever. But people are using this. This is what pisses me off. And then again, some people need this. And I get depression is real. I understand it. I really understand that it is real. I don't understand it in the sense that I live it. That's why I'm trying to say I'm kind of scared of answering the wrong way because of that.
Don't be scared. Answer.
Because some people have some real situations, but
Some real, yeah. I mean, look, like okay, disclaimer. If the shit is real for you, then this doesn't apply to you,
yeah.
right?
So what I'm saying,
But if you're using it as a crutch, listen up.
I didn't grow up here. I grew up in a place where people didn't have time to be depressed. Like, you're always too busy doing shit. And by the way, the quality of life is way better over there anyways. We work 6 days a week, right? My father, me, and my family, the things we've gone through, the things we've seen, should have traumatized a lot of different people. And we didn't. Because we didn't have the time to dwell on it.
Yeah.
You get me?
Yeah.
Like, as a man, people depend on you. I'm not talking about you have kids or not. You have a mother that looks down to you to be proud of you. Her biggest goal in life is to be proud of you. Like, if you have a kid and you raise him, what do you want from them?
You want them to be successful.
You want to be
Right?
successful.
Take away lessons from you.
You want to be able to be proud of them.
Yeah.
Right? So if when they look at you, what they see is a sorry, sad person.
Sack of shit.
In a room, depressed. They're going to do the motherly thing and try to covet you and help you. But the truth is, that's not what they wanted for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So to me, it's like, look, man, I don't have time. And it's because I choose not to have time. That's very important. I have big dreams, not just for me, for my family, for the people around me. I love taking on projects. I love trying new things. And lately, by the way, guys, I told you, I'm not too eloquent. I'm not really good at reading. And I read now more than ever. I don't have enough time because if I did have time, I'd be reading something. I'd be learning something. And to me, that's not a break.
Yeah.
You get me?
Yeah.
So you see what I'm saying? It's like some people might say, well, I've worked too hard. I'm going to take a break and read a book.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm saying, well, I'm trying to time block my work time. And I'm trying to fit in time for me to learn a new skill.
It's funny because, I take a lot of breaks. And
you don't.
And I don't. And so, in my brain, right? So think about this. Like in my brain, I take a lot of breaks. And then people come to my office and they go, Dave, how do you do everything that you do in the time that you have? And I just don't see it. I just do it. Like I don't, no entiendo. I don't understand. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, you taught me something.
I just do it.
This has to do with it. How do you organize your day?
On my calendar.
No. What I mean is you have like little time blocks.
Yeah,
Work, creative,
right.
whatever. Like how is that part?
Yeah. So everything in the morning is about lead generation. Mm-hmm. My afternoons are about creative, and then my later afternoons and evenings are about client connection.
All right, but why is there creative in the middle?
Well, first of all, when you wake up in the morning, your neurons are on fire. You're going off, right? It is the absolute best time to A, spend time with yourself, B, work out, and C, connect with lead gen. Because that's when you're on fire, right? Then you take some lunch and you have this moment of peace, this moment of quality time with the business you're trying to create. And that's when the creative happens. That's when you can play, you can be creative, you can mess around with stuff. Like that for me is the right time to be there. If you do it too early in the morning, you burn your neurons on creativeness rather than converting business. If you do it too late in the evening, you'll just be too tired to be creative.
Do you think that being creative releases dopamine?
It does. Absolutely. It's exciting.
So do you think
You
that if
know?
you do it too early, that high,
It
high,
goes away by midday, and then what do you do?
right?
Right?
So I call it a reset. And I learned this from you. I just worded it differently.
Yeah.
So I don't call it a break per se, right? But you basically did take a break in between your two performing hours to do something
2 hours,
creative,
by the way.
to do something
Yeah.
creative, and that's why I call it a reset.
Yeah.
It's not like you stopped working. You worked in the part of the so you basically said, all right, I'm gonna eat the shit first.
I'm gonna go hard first.
And I'm gonna eat the shit first.
Yeah.
And now I'm gonna go
Yeah.
into my book.
Yeah.
Whenever
Yeah,
I
yeah.
write it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna eat the shit first.
You should write that book, by the way. Eat shit first.
Well, this already exists, right? Like somebody wrote it somewhere. I just kind of took their words. And then you're like, now let me reward myself doing something I like to do. That's your break, right? But it still helps your business move forward. And then you went into back to the grind, right? So my words and the way I'm saying it, I'm trying to portray it so people understand it. I'm not saying you don't need to change. I'm not saying you don't need to reset. I'm just saying structure it into a way that's not like you're doing nothing.
Yeah.
Right? That like feel sorry for me attitude is what I don't accept. Right?
Gotcha.
Like if you tell me, oh, I need a break, let me go work out in the middle of
That's not
Great.
the same thing. Yeah.
go fucking
Go
work
kick ass,
out.
man.
But
Yeah.
that's not, oh man, just need to get away from this.
I
Like,
think that was me on Saturday. It was like middle of the day, and I was like, "Yo, I'm going to the gym," and I literally put on like a 30-pound vest and walked.
I saw
to the
you
gym.
posted. You posted.
Yeah,
that
I
stuff.
walked to the gym. So it's like 1.1 miles away. It's not crazy. But I walked to the gym with my vest and my book bag. I worked out for an hour, put the vest back on because I worked out too long where my wife couldn't pick me up. The plan was for my wife to pick me up. And because I was like, I know after walking this with a 30-pound vest and working out, I'm going to be exhausted. But I worked out too long. My wife had an appointment, so she had to go do that. So I was like, well, guess I got to walk back. You know, threw the vest on, threw my backpack back on, and walked back.
But that's
You
what I
know?
mean. I hope that offers some clarity because I know it's very.
It's huge. I mean, listen, man. I think sometimes we have to speak boldly to the men that are out there that are walking through their fire right now and tell them there's a way out. And you're giving them exactly what they need to hear to get out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And there's some things that I'm telling you that you don't know about me, but there are points where I go, I need to do something dumb today because my brain operates at 1,000,000 miles an hour. And the only way I can slow down my brain is to do something dumb. What is dumb? I might consume a few episodes of a TV show. I might get on social media for a little while, but then social media is a scary place for me because I'll get on for a little while and then I'll start coming up with ideas, right? So I'm working, you know. But
So look, I'm not telling you. Like, look, at a very young age, I was addicted to TV.
yeah,
I could watch TV for 12 hours a day.
Yeah.
I was there.
yeah,
I am not saying that I don't enjoy it. So me and my wife,
you just know what's more important.
I just don't want one important.
That's it.
Yes.
Yeah,
But me and my wife watch TV. We watch shows together, and she watches a lot of shows without me. But the shows we watch together, and I appreciate that I'm doing with her because we get to have a discussion. So, to me, that's another. That's not the same thing. Right?
yeah. My wife is not a TV watcher. So when I watch those few episodes, she just hangs out with me so that she could be.
Yeah, that's what
around
I'm
me.
saying. Like you're
And
doing
then
it
she's
to
like
be-
on her computer. Tick.
It's something that you do to be able to have a conversation about
Yeah.
the subject. Can you believe this
Yeah.
happened? Whatever.
Yeah.
But look, I realized that we live an amazing life. Like whether anybody, I'm not talking about my life specifically. You step off, and watch yourself and the
Yeah.
choices, the decisions,
Yeah.
the actions,
Yeah.
the movement. Like it is a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
We are our own movie.
For a man who lost everything, what would you suggest the first step back is?
The first step back.
There's a man right now listening to this that has absolutely lost everything. Maybe completely divorced, lost the house, lost the kids, maybe there's a job he got fired from because the job market is a little tricky right now. Like, what do you suggest to this person? What's the first step back?
The first step back is somehow I got this from my mother. Everything's gonna be all right.
Mindset.
Mindset. Everything always works out. This is the first part. The second part is stop thinking about it and just start
Go do
taking
something.
action.
Take action.
Right? I mean, you wrote a book on taking action, right?
Yeah.
There's more people struggling with thinking about doing it, and thinking about things that are going on in their life and everything, and what's going to happen. Am I going to be judged, or should I do it? You know how many people right now are thinking about doing maybe a TikTok shop and are embarrassed of doing a TikTok shop
Right,
video or
right.
whatever,
That's
right?
crazy.
Like,
Yeah.
fuck, like, if
Just
you're
do
not
it.
making money, do that. How many people
Figure it out.
I know people that struggled in the last few months, and I'm like, bro, why don't you just go do Uber? You're home, doing nothing. Like, people put so much value on money, like if money is like hard to make. It's not hard to make.
It's not hard to make.
And I know if you're listening to this, you might be like, oh, you just turned off because I just said that.
Yeah.
No. The problem is,
If you want it, you can figure it out, right?
What is it you're trying to accomplish with the money?
Yeah.
Right? Like, look at the ultimate thing, and what are you willing to give up for it?
It's funny. I was watching on the topic of that money's not hard to make. I was watching this Gary V kind of reel, right, where he's like talking to people randomly on phone calls, and the guy on the phone is like, "I just started a new business, and I'm trying to decide when's the right time to leave my job to go do this business full time." And Gary's like, "All right, what's the business?" And he goes, "Well, we put out these ads and like Facebook Marketplace, stuff like that, that will come clear your garage. And we'll get rid of everything for you." And Gary goes, "Hold on a second. You go to people's houses and you take all of their belongings from the garage and you keep them for yourself and you charge them for it?" And he goes, "Yeah." He goes, "How much do you charge?" $600. And he's like, "Hold on a second. Do you ever find anything of value in there?" And he goes, "Yeah, all the time. We like find the valuable things, throw away everything else, then sell the valuable things." He's like, "Talk to me about that." "Oh, I found a hat that we sold for $1,000 because it had a signature from some sports athlete or whatever." And he's like, "Dude, you're living my dream life." Like, this is Gary V, right? He's like, "You're living, how many garage, when did you start the business?" 2 months ago. "How many garages have you cleaned out?" 50. And he goes, "Quit your fucking job, man." And so, I only say that because this guy's literally making $600 a garage. How many people want to clear out their garages? Right? Like, he's onto something.
Yeah, he really is. He really is.
He's onto something. If that guy creates a team of people that clean garages and creates a warehouse where all the belongings come to and then they have specialists in there sorting out through the trash to find the winning stuff, and then they put that stuff on like Facebook Marketplace to sell it. Can you imagine?
Yeah, no, the amount of money, but the message behind it. Like, people are always scared to take that leap.
Yeah.
Like I told you earlier, make
Yeah.
the fucking mistakes, right?
Yeah.
Like, do it now. Like, what is the worst thing? So I think most of the people are scared of what they're already living. I'm like, the worst thing that can happen is where you're at right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, that is the worst
You're
thing.
already there.
You're literally living your worst thing. So if you're going through this right now and you're scared, you're in pain, you don't know what to do next, understand that the worst thing that's gonna happen if you take the chance is you end up exactly where you're at.
All right. So for the man who is soft right now, what's your correction for them?
I mean, soft in what sense?
Just everything we've talked about for being a soft, unmanly like character.
Look, I think
What's
that
your correction for them?
I think that if you are thinking about things too much, think about this one thing. Like, who did your parents think you were gonna be? Like, I don't know if your parents ever thought about it at all, but at least my parents thought I was gonna be this great man. You know, like, that's when you have a son, you think they're gonna be a great person. You know, like, wouldn't it be beautiful if you grew up to be that person?
Yeah.
Right? I'm not talking about the heavy weight of letting them down because you didn't become that person. I'm just saying, like, life is long.
Yeah.
And we still get to at least try to be that person.
But there's also men out there that have been beat up by their parents for so many years, and they have lack of confidence because of it.
So wouldn't it be great to prove them wrong? Don't give me a reason why not to be a man.
Right.
We're gonna be a man one way or the other.
Yeah.
So I'll find it either way. Either make them proud or make them
Yeah.
regret they doubted me.
How do you go from Pillsbury to, strong man? That's always the big question.
Look,
'Cause
I
I'm
don't.
sure there are men out there right now that don't feel like they're man enough.
I mean, I don't. I don't think I feel like I'm ever man enough. I just keep trying.
Yeah.
Like I don't. I don't. I think I'm successful at different things because I'm never satisfied, and I'm never comfortable with thinking that I achieve a certain goal. Right? Like, even now, it's taking me such a struggle to admit to myself that I've done certain things that that deserve
Recognition.
accolades,
Yeah.
recognition. Right? But it's very hard for me to accept that because I'm scared that if I accept it, that I'll give up. So I'm more like, don't accept it.
Yeah,
Keep
I'm on a
chasing it.
different spectrum where it's not that I'm scared that like I'll give up. It's more along the lines of, dude, I was just doing what I'm supposed to do. Right? Like, why are you applauding for me? I just went to work today.
Yeah, you're a fucking
You
man.
know? Yeah. All right, for the man who's alone, what's his solution?
Wow. I'm here for you, brother. Like, there's other people out there that feel just the way you do. It doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. Understand there's people you can talk to. And most of them are willing to listen. You think they're not just because you didn't reach out, right?
Yeah.
I find that I know people that chase other people to help them out. Right? But there's a lot of people that are willing to listen and help you out. It just takes
Where do
for
you find those people?
they're everywhere. The problem is we get in our own heads and we don't step out of the house to talk to people.
Yeah, I used to give people advice, and I used to say, if you want to be a luxury agent, call 10 luxury agents and ask them out to coffee. Right? 7 are going to say no. 3 is going to say, cool, come see me. If you want to be a investor, find 10 investors and call them and ask them for a cup of coffee. Like, you know what I mean? Now, I think I've really tapped a lot into my faith over the last couple of years. And most recently, this year, really tapped in my faith. And I truly believe if you find your church, it could be, hear me out,
No, I'm going with you. I think I'm going to give you a different perspective, but I'm going with you 100%.
because church is where you make it.
Yes, that's where I'm going.
If you find your church, whether that be, for me, a temple, for a Catholic mass church, or a Christian, the Christian churches, or a group of people that are, I think it's important to be faith-driven. So that are faith-driven, that are strong leaders, that are the type of people you want to be with, because those are the type of people that you want to be inspired by. That's your church.
So I'm going the way you're going, right? And by all means, guys, I've always thought, and this is a negative connotation to it, but it's not negative at all. A lot of people escape to church. They escape their realities to go to church.
Right.
Like church is the solution and things like that. And I agree. I think that's the easiest way for you to find a group of people that are looking for something. 100% agree with it. I have no qualms against it. I'm
So
good with it.
the difference is there are people who go to church to absolve themselves of what they did the night before. Those are not the people that you're looking for if you're going to church.
No.
You're looking for the leaders of that church. You're looking for the ones that are doing great, and they come to church strictly out of faith.
Yeah.
Not to absolve themselves from last night's whole moment.
No. What I mean is, what I mean is, look, man, you might be going through something. You might be alone. You might be searching for answers. You might be looking for a sign. It's right in front of you, right? Church is great at showing you that.
Yeah.
Well, no matter what,
Yeah.
like what you call it,
Sermons are
right?
great.
You're gonna get there and listen to a message that was meant for you, right? You're gonna be surrounded by people that are seeking similar things that you're seeking. So, I support it 100%. The reason maybe people look at a different context for me is because I said I believe in God, but I don't believe in religion. Like religion, I do. It's just kind of the organization, different places. Um, I found a lot of what I was seeking in books. And instead of making me more of an introvert, because after being old, I learned that I like books, it helped me realize things that I need to do, right? So sometimes the help that I found, it wasn't in a person, it was in a book,
Yeah.
right? Sometimes the help it was like that story about like the lady that was in a boat that was drowning and there was a boat passing around. I was like, no, God will save me,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, I've learned to always look at opportunities everywhere, right?
Yeah.
So whether there's a book, whether there's a person, whether there's a message, or like sometimes you talk to somebody like, why did I talk to you so long? Like I just poured my soul into you, but thank you, like,
Yeah.
there's always those things. Like even this meeting coming to be made me aware of things that I hadn't thought about. So there's always opportunities. The difference isn't in like I think people are always looking for something outside to save them. The opportunity was there and you accepted it. That is what you have to accept. Like the fact that I'm willing to listen, the fact that I'm willing to talk, the fact that I'm willing to read or participate to make myself better is where I think the value is. That's what I was trying to tell you. If you're going through something and you're saying, well, no, I'm not gonna do that because I'm scared of what happened. And you're thinking about the consequence. You're thinking about the embarrassment. Or you're thinking, hey, I'm gonna talk to David and he's gonna say, he's gonna shut me down. He doesn't have time for me. Or he's gonna tell me, hey, you're a loser. Stop thinking about the results and have faith in that if you try, it will work out.
For the husband and the father who feels disconnected from his family, what does he do first to fix that?
Look, the first thing is to have a good communication with your wife.
Yeah.
She is your partner. And she might not see it at the moment that you consider her a partner.
Yeah.
So having those conversations are very difficult. Very difficult. Like having a conversation with my wife that I know is gonna upset her, but I need to have it anyways. It's very difficult, right?
Yeah.
But having them often helps you a lot, right? Second thing is that I speak to my kids as adults. I don't speak to them as kids. At the moment, sometimes they don't appreciate it, but I can tell I've had little instances where they've actually repeated to me what I said to them at other times. I'm like, oh man, they got it, right? Doesn't happen often enough for me to realize it's working, but communication is the number one thing in a relationship, and walking away from an argument isn't the solution. Maybe taking a breather, like, all right, let me calm myself down and coming back at it later. Yes, I get
Come
that.
back with a clear head.
But what is your goal out of this is a different skill, I guess, altogether, by the way. I'm sorry, I'm rambling on, but every conversation has to do with what are you trying to achieve, right? Because if me and you're having a conversation and I'm trying to tell you that we're gonna go paint this wall white, but I indulge in the fact that I'm trying because I like to argue, I'm not getting my point across. Then sometimes I gotta say, well, what is my point out of this conversation? So instead of me giving into my urge to argue with you, the fact that you're wrong, I have to kind of, okay, what am I trying to achieve out of this conversation?
Yeah.
That helps you a lot, right? So if I'm trying to have a conversation with my wife because I want to have a relationship with my kids and her, sometimes she's going to tell me things that are going to piss me off and trigger me and think whatever. But I'm like, look, I came in here because I'm trying to achieve something.
Yeah.
So let me open up my heart, my mind, and kind of listen and take it in.
Yeah.
And say, well, okay, I listened. Did we achieve what we did? Two things come out of that. Number one, sometimes when you listen, you actually figure out that they were right. Very rarely that happens, but you do. You're like, because you opened yourself up to doing it and you actually listen.
To the opportunity.
Yes. And two, maybe you didn't listen quite, but you still accomplished the goal. Either way, you won. But it took for you to remove your ego and to control your urge. I think as I grow older, I see people that can't control their urges. Like I say something that I know is going to trigger you. You get triggered like this.
Yeah.
Control that.
Control that.
You know,
I think being a man comes with control.
that's a good one.
Yeah. It's also
Control it.
biblical, by the way. It's crazy.
It's insane that we try to reinvent everything. We always come back to the basics.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. All right. For a man that's watching this right now that feels like quitting, what do you want him to hear from you right now?
Just quit. No, I'm kidding. Look,
He's like, yes, I knew it the whole time.
look. My competitive nature says get out of the way.
Yeah.
There is no space for pussies,
No, there is not.
right? But the reality is, if I care about you, and I want you to hear, like, to get you out of the hole is, why do you want to quit? What do you think's gonna happen when you quit? What are your expectations of what's gonna happen when you quit? What are you trying to run away from? Like, I have more questions than I have answers,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because if I quit, I lose everything. If I quit, is there more pain? If I quit,
It's truly a failure.
like, what is it that you're seeking by quitting? Like, I have more questions than answers, right? I do not have the answer for you. The only thing I know for sure is that
You need to start asking yourself why.
you ask yourself why.
Yeah, because that's what you just said. I got more questions.
I
Than
have more
answers.
questions. Yeah, like I have
Yeah.
more questions. And the advice that I take from my father and I keep practicing is like, look, man, I just know how to do one thing. Is put my head down and keep grinding. That's the only thing that has ever gotten me out of any trouble.
Yeah.
Like, it's not about money specifically. It's about everything. Like,
Yeah.
just put my head and keep working at it.
And keep going. And put your head down and work.
Yes.
Work.
Yes.
Work. Will, man, your story is literally a blueprint for what we're building here. It's a blueprint for the man that thinks the fire disqualifies him. And that's huge. Your childhood, your failures, your hiccups, the pressure, the rebuild, the losses, then the rebuild brick by brick, your marriage, your philosophy. This is the definition of what we are trying to create and engulf with Forged into Man. So thank you for that.
No, thank
I
you.
really
man.
appreciate you being here with me today. You know, to every man listening out there, your fire is not a punishment. It's preparation. You know, your forge is not breaking you. It's molding you. It's building the better version for your family, your future, and for what your legacy is going to need from you. Guys, this is Forged into Man. I'm David Adam Kurz. And remember, pain reveals you, pressure builds you, and purpose defines you. We'll see you on the next episode. Every man has a story. Some hide it, some bury it. But when you share it, it becomes the torch for someone else's path. Remember, the fire doesn't burn to break you, it burns to build you. If today's conversation moved you, share it. And if you're in the middle of your own fire, keep walking. You are not alone. This is Forged into Man. I'm David Adam Kurz. Until next time, stay strong, stay grounded, and stay forged.